football, but I think initially they won't take those chances, and I think that might be just the adaptation after learning from how Rangers have played against them and have done really well against them, and probably in the 3 games, that they will actually make that change, and that's why I think Adams in the team right from the start today.
Tom English, that's going to be one interesting aspect. It'll also be interesting to see if Rangers can shake off these home blues. I mean, it's ridiculous, isn't it, to think they've gone 6 with 3 months without a victory at Ibrox, and Celtic, you have to say, have bounced back very well from the shock defeat against St Johnstone a month ago. 3 successive wins, 5 goals scored in each of those matches. I mean, they'll be going there full of the kind of confidence that they've had, well, for the last decade or so, I guess.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Brendan Rodgers' job this week would be to kind of inject relevance into this game, to kind of stave off the threat of complacency amongst these players. And it's kind of, you would have thought that would be fairly easily done, given Rangers' record against Celtic this season, the fact that bizarrely they've scored 9 goals in their last 3 against Rangers, and they can't score at home against Queen's Park, St Mirren, Motherwell and Hibs in this run of 6. They're a team that just defy description, Rangers, at the moment. There's a few unkind ones, you could say, but let's not go there just yet. I think Celtic should be up for this. Rangers will definitely, I would say, be up for it. Whether they're good enough is another question, but they should be up for it. If only to kind of avoid the Celtic fans here goading them and mocking them even more than they mocked them already this season. So that's got to be a motivation for Rangers players. It's certainly a huge reason why Rangers fans will be here. It's just in the hope that their team can deliver something nothing is going to take away from the misery of their season, but not just to add to it by losing to Celtic at home. A rousing Rangers performance here. At least the Rangers fans can leave without the deafening roars of the Celtic masses poking fun at them.
We'll find out if they can do just that. Of course, one thing that Brendan Rodgers has spoken about is to surpass the goal-scoring record that they set during the Invincible season. 106 goals that season, which is the most they've scored in recent times. Did have 105 back in 2003, 2004, but since the SPL, then the Premiership were introduced, 106 is the top goals scored. 102 they're sitting on, so they'll be keen, I'm sure, to try to emulate that. Let's hear from the managers then. We'll start with the Rangers boss, Barry Ferguson, been chatting with Martin Dowden.
Barry, it's Rangers Celtic, it's always a massive occasion. What does this mean to you and the squad and the club today?
Well, it means a lot, and it should mean a lot, because you're playing against your fiercest rival. So we've had a good week, we've prepared, we've got a game plan in what way we have to approach it if we want to win the game. And now it's up to the boys to hopefully carry that out.
You've troubled Celtic, you scored 3 times against them in the last 3 games. Do you expect them to change, and if so, does that mean you approach it differently?
I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not concerned in terms of Celtic. My concern is my team and how we approach a game. We're at home, we need to take the game to Celtic, and you'll see for the first whistle what way we're going to obviously approach it. And if we approach it in the way that I want us to, then I think we'll have a good chance of winning the game.
What's behind the changes today? I think it's Balogun, Barron and Bayrami start, they come in.
Yeah, there's been a few niggles, and also, look, I have to make decisions. Some people might not be happy with them, but when you're a manager, you have to make these decisions. And I've went a certain way, which I think can win us a game. And it's an opportunity for the guys who have not played to go and show that they're more than capable of playing in the Rangers team. So, yeah, it's a good opportunity for these guys.
Do you feel, given what's at stake, games, the players and the club in general owe the fans one, owe them a result here to finish this season in a real positive way?
That should be the case every single game. You have to go out and you have to make sure you're very competitive in every single game you play in. Since I've been back, we've done it most times, but other games we've just let ourselves down, and that's something that I'm demanding from them, that I need to see that every single week when you're at a club like this. The expectations are on you all the time to win games of football, and they've got a brilliant opportunity today against a Celtic team who have comfortably, which pains me to say, comfortably has won the league. So we need to go out and make a point that, listen, we're going to be here or thereabouts next season.
Is it fair to say that the bigger the game, the more or the better your players seem to respond? And when you talk about consistency, they've let themselves down when it's not the big game.
Yeah, it's something that we've spoke about, and I've spoke about as a manager and a staff, and then we've obviously sat down with a group of players. If you want to be a consistent team, you have to go to difficult places, and when teams come to Ibrox, they're going to sit behind the ball and try and frustrate you. So that's something that we need to sort going forward. It has been our Achilles heel this season, there's no doubt about that. I'm not going to hide away from that. But look, we've got 4 games to go. We're just concentrating on today's game, which is going to be a difficult one, but I firmly believe that we've got the right personnel and the way that we're going to set up. Hopefully it'll get us that 3 points.
Just finally, I know you'll be considering the bigger picture, but this could be your last game as manager against Celtic. Has that come into your thinking?
No, I'm professional enough to realise that I've got a few games to go. I'll just enjoy it, but I'll take it seriously as well, because this means a lot to me, this job. So, yep, I've done everything I can along with the staff, and to be fair to the players, they've really tuned in this week. So now it's all about 12 o'clock. Once I cross that white line, can we take that information on board? And then if they do, then I believe we have a real good chance of winning the game.
Thanks, Barry. Good luck.
Barry Ferguson, I mean, there have been moments where you thought under Barry and the coaching staff, Stephen, that they were about to take off, and they have had some decent results. And I take exactly what Martin was, the point he was making regarding the big games. Yeah, they've done well in some of the big games, but there have also been what were big games for the club that they haven't been able to come through. And you did talk about the difficulty of trying to predict absolutely anything. So can you predict to me how you think Rangers will approach the game as Barry was outlining there?
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing that's disappointed Barry the most, is that he knows that the team's capable of these big moments, and he's had a couple of them, the Old Firm game, the Fenerbahce game, but when you're a Rangers player, and this is what Celtic have done unbelievably well for a number of years now, it's the winning mentality, it's the drive, it's the not dropping your standards. I've never seen a Rangers team drop their standards like this team has. You just look at the games in recent times, the Hibs, Aberdeen, St Mirren, all these games, Motherwell dropping points. It just never happened, certainly in my time here. You would have one, maybe 2 a season where things, the standards drop, and it's inevitable over the course of a season that will happen. It happened to Celtic at St Johnstone, but to have it happen on a regular basis, it's just nowhere near good enough. And Barry's been scratching his head, and you've got to feel for him a wee bit, because they will be giving information to these players, and he spoke about information there and telling them exactly what he wants and what he expects and blah blah blah. But then they've got to carry it out in the pitch, and they've not done that. So, he's looked disillusioned at times with just the team and their lack of kind of understanding of what it is that he wants them to do. These games, yes, there's a tactical element to it, but you've got to go out, you've got to win the battle, you've got to go and get in Celtic's face. He's not allowed them to play their attractive football and get on the ball and dominate the game. That's the thing you've got to get right. So regardless of all the other points, the information that have been given those players, they've got to go and win the fight first, and then take the game to Celtic after that. But I mean, it's a massive game for Barry. Obviously, he's very unlikely that he's going to be the next Rangers manager, so he's got to enjoy these moments as much as he can.
Well, he will hope to do that this afternoon. Brendan Rodgers, of course, has enjoyed many, many moments as Celtic manager. Let's hear what he had to say to Martin.
Brendan, there's been a lot of talk about the significance of this game given you've already secured the title. Does it feel any less given Kickoff's approaching?
No, it doesn't. I think Celtic, Rangers Celtic are always important games. We've had a fantastic season till now. We want to finish the season strong, and we want to give the supporters a performance against a great rival to take them into the summer. So yeah, there's no gimmies. There's no games of this level that you just dismiss. So they're all very important.
When you talked earlier in the season about having a lead and maybe at times subconsciously they switched off a bit, what have you done to make sure that doesn't happen here today?
Well, I think that's been the message in all week. Really, we don't want any questions asked, and our consistency over the season has been really, really good. We've started poorly in the last 2 games, and we haven't then been able to pull it back. So the message in being we've got to start well, and then finish strong. And for us to do that, as I said, we have to play our game.
Do you look to be a little more solid given that Rangers have scored 3 against you in the last 3 games, or is it very much just doing the things you normally do better?
Yeah, no, it's exactly that. I think that we've shown our level. You only need to look at the goal difference that we have on the league table, how good we have been defensively. But in these games, it's concentration. If you think of, we conceded 2 goals at Parkhead, one from a corner and one from a throw-in. So we've got to be concentrated more and just more alert to the game. So yeah, I just think we haven't performed to our level. We know when we do that. We've seen it in the Champions League. We play, top teams at that level, and when we're concentrated and performed well, then we can really, really hurt the opponent. So that's the mindset today. Our game is based on how we work, how we play. We always have a balance between attacking and defending, and that's what we need to see if we want a result here.
How difficult is it for a guy like Anthony Ralston, who often comes in these big games, to be ready to deliver, particularly when he's coming in for a guy that performs so consistently for you?
Well, he's always done it, and that's a great testament to his professionalism. Tony's a Celtic guy. He knows what's required, especially in games like today, and his training and his work that he does every day prepares him for the opportunities. He's never let the team down, ever. That's why I trust him, and why there's no drama that, okay, Ali's done great for us. He's obviously out, but Tony, have every confidence he goes in and can perform.
Barry Ferguson and his staff and the players will be desperate to get one over on you here. Do you expect them to come out all guns blazing at the start? You're looking for a good start yourself. Yeah, I think any team, especially when you're at home and the games against here, you want to start well. They won't want to start how we started, that's for sure. But no, I think that it's going to be a really competitive game. They're never not, despite us being champions and winning the league well. These are games that you got to turn up in. So I hope and would expect us to be ready right from the off. Thanks, Brendan. Good luck.
Brendan Rodgers with Martin Dowden. He will be very keen to see that intensity from Kickoff that, as he pointed out, Pat, has been lacking in some of the games of late.
Yes, but listen, they've come here, it's a bit of pride today for them. There's no pressure really on them, but the only pressure is maybe from the individuals themselves and how they want to go out and play and not make mistakes and get that rhythm up and running today. But they won the championship, they won it absolutely brilliantly, but they want to top it off in style today. And when you walk around the summer, normally in the old days anyway, when you won a championship, you've taken care of your biggest rivals, and you walk around with your head held high, knowing that it's going to be a beautiful summer. And Celtic players haven't really probably maybe thought in that way, because we were up against big competition at times. They've dominated, but now you want to walk around the summer having known that you've come to Ibrox and you can get a result, a positive result, and that means a win here against Rangers today, and that will top it off for them. So today is about them going out to put probably those 3 games I mentioned earlier aside, because they haven't played well in them. They've been sort of maybe dominated by Rangers in those games, even though Rangers haven't even been near them in the league. They have sort of been up and challenged them in these 1-to-1 games. So Celtic want to put that right today.
And is it easy to do that, given everything that Celtic have achieved this season? They've won the matches that have mattered. They've amassed the points. They've easily clinched the title in terms of the league table. But can you find that intensity just like that?
Yeah, listen, they've done it. They've done it against the big teams in Europe this year. They've done it over the pace. They play with intensity. That's part of their DNA and energy. And you know, when they go out and dominate teams in that way, not just when they have the ball and move that ball in the way we know that they can do. The pitch is really, really good today, so that won't be there'll be nothing there to stop them from passing that ball up their 1-2 touch pass the way they can do it. They will, as I said earlier, probably go a little bit longer early on in the game, but it's the counter pressing that Celtic have done so well against teams that's been added to over the years, and when they do that and do that really well, I think then they dominate teams, and I don't see that being a big issue for them to resurrect that today against Rangers here at Ibrox.
And do you think Barry Ferguson will have got across to the Rangers players, Tomo, just what this means?
I think they've been left in no uncertain terms of what it means down in that changing room. But the Celtic players will have got the same message as well. It's an old firm game, it's a massive game, it's a one-off game. And these Rangers players will know exactly what they've got to do today. It's just whether or not, as Barry says, when they cross that white line, as they've just done, come out into the tunnel just now, whether they can take it onto the pitch and give them all the information you want. They've got to take the responsibility on this pitch.
Right, and a quick final thought from Tom English. What are you anticipating, Tom?
It's a difficult one to call, Richard. I suspect that Celtic may win this game because of the previous losses to Rangers, but Rangers have plenty to fight for in this. It's a tricky one. It's kind of a surreal one, really.
Full live commentary is coming right up. It is Rangers against Celtic for one more time this season, 2024-25. We'll get more from Tom at half-time. It's commentary with Pat Bonner, Stephen Thompson and Liam McLeod.
Thank you, Richard. 17 points and 47 goals between these two at the top of the Premiership. It is a massive chasm, but it's a chasm that Rangers have breached in the last 3 meetings between these two, going back to December's League Cup final, which they lost out to Celtic on penalties, followed by 2 victories in the league. They've scored 3 goals in each of those 3 matches. Quite why it's gone so horribly wrong against the rest of the league in recent months is something that 2 Rangers managers have not been able to come up with an answer to. Clement and Ferguson have both beaten Celtic in the last few months. One's gone, the other, you would imagine, will be going at the end of the campaign, which is just a couple of weeks away now. Brendan Rodgers picked up his 11th major honour as Celtic manager when they confirmed the title last Saturday in Dundee. It makes him the 6th most successful manager in Scottish football history, behind only Maley, Struth, Steen, Smith and Simon. He's left an indelible mark on the game in this country. The Celtic players go into the huddle on the left-hand side of the pitch. The Rangers players ready to go, as is Nick Walsh, who's the referee this afternoon, having taken charge of the Scottish Cup final between these two last season. Rangers, Kelly in goal, Tavernier, Suter, Balogun, Jeffrey, Raskin, Barron, Czerny, Diamondi, Bayrami and Dessers. Celtic, Sinisalo in goal, Ralston, Carter, Vickers, Scales and Taylor, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, Forrest, Maida, Ida. Rangers are going to kick this one off. They're going to go from right to left in this first half, shooting towards the Broom Lawn. The blue shirts, white shorts, black socks with the red tops. Celtic, of course, in the green and white hoops, as these two go head-to-head for the last time this season. Raskin taps the ball back to John Suter, who launches it from the point of his own half over to the right-hand side. for Tavernier's cushion header eventually falls at the feet of Bayrami, who couldn't pass it back out to his captain. And of them on the far left-hand side, as Rangers come forward, Bayrami with a chip ball in, it comes off a Celtic defender's scales, and Rangers have the first corner of the match, the opening minute of the match.
How much better is it with the opposition fans inside the stadium? Just, it's been missing. It's so much better in atmosphere. But Rangers, 46 into the game, have got the first corner of the game, and they score goals from a corner in the previous Old Firm game.
Yeah, early on as well. Raskin's header, Tavernier with an out-swinging right-footed corner in front of the Celtic fans. A powerful header off the top of the bar from Balogun, with a face mask on today after the injury he sustained in Bilbao against Athletic Club in the second leg of that Europa League quarter-final. He's thundered that off the top of Sinisalo's crossbar, and it will be a Celtic goal kick.
Chance, what I would say is, who was meant to be marking him, Packy?
Absolutely, and that's I meant to say set pieces before the game is going to be one of those determining factors, and I think it's an Achilles heel for Celtic, and you could see there, I don't know whether anybody was blocked off, but it's an absolute free header from about 12 yards out, and he just hits the top of the crossbar, and that's something that if they get into the right areas and get those free kicks and corners, Rangers will be a huge threat.
Chilly day here in Glasgow, a bit blustery as well. The blue skies being covered by cloud just now after a sunny morning here in the city. As that goes out for a Rangers throw-in round about the halfway line over on the far side, which James Tavernier will take. Has been a couple of successes recently in this fixture for Rangers, but they've only won 4 of the last 19 meetings. Did win the last one here 3-0 in January. As Diamonde picks up, scored in the last one, finds Raskin, who also did, and he's making a move towards the Celtic box. To the left angle of the area for Jeffrey, couldn't return it to Raskin. Diamonde goes to ground, tries to get back up, he's lost possession though, and it will be collected here by Tony Ralston, who puts it straight into touch for a throw-in on this near side for Rangers. Just a 6th league start for Ralston this afternoon, this season. Of course, is very much behind Alistair Johnston in the pecking order here at Celtic, as Suter rolls it out to Tavernier on the far side. The play switched from this near side to the far side. Bouncing ball, breaks to Carter Vickers, who knocks it forward into the Rangers half. Then Diamonde's tripped by Hatate, and Rangers have a free kick right of the centre circle, which they've taken quickly, and they've started the game quickly as well. 3 goalless minutes in here.
Yeah, they had the kick-off, haven't they? And they've put it into the Celtic half, and they've sort of almost dominated, controlled the game and dominated. I wouldn't say total possession, but they've been able to start on the front foot, and that's good for Rangers. And Celtic just struggling a wee bit to get like control of the game.
A diamond in the middle of the pitch with Barron at the deepest point, and Raskin, Diamande and Bayrami as well. It's a different setup from what I thought they would start. I thought Bayrami would be out wider in a 4-2-3-1, but it looks like a diamond.
And this is another set piece, isn't it? You know, and they've got the big boys up, Balogun and Suter up, and I would anticipate they'll put it into the box again and test the Celtic defence.
Yeah, this time it was a trip by Maida, and it is just about level with the edge of the centre circle to the right of it. Tavernier over it, about 7 or 8 yards away from the line of the centre circle there, and Tavernier waiting for some movement ahead of him. Gets it now, a throng of players along the 18-yard line. Comes off Carter Vickers, it almost broke Balogun's way, and dumped clear there by Ida, out for a throw-in off a Rangers player last though, and Celtic have it level with the 6-yard line inside their own box on this right-hand side. And Ralston Packy will be keen to make an impression today. As I said, he's playing second fiddle to the Canadian at the club.
Yeah, I don't think he'll let them down. You know, he's experienced now. It's not as if he's a young boy anymore, that's for sure. He might lack the same maybe penetration that Alistair Johnson has, especially in those forward areas, but he's fine, he's okay.
Well, I hope Johnston's okay, particularly with that Scottish Cup final coming up in 20 days' time. He is such a threat on the underlap in particular, as we've seen so often this season. There's a long ball for Celtic, looking for Ida. Comes all the way through to Liam Kelly. He was in goal when Rangers kept a clean sheet here in January. against the champions as he bowls it short to Balogun. 5 minutes in, and it's Balogun rolling it up to halfway, and then it's going to be a free kick for a foul by Ralston right on the halfway line for the challenge on Nedim Bayrami. He's just getting back to his feet now, and Nick Walsh wants to have a word with the Celtic right back.
Yeah, it was quick feet from Bayrami. Anthony Ralston just a wee bit too keen. Don't think there's too much contact in it. Maybe catches the top of his foot, but a wee word of warning from Nick Walsh.
Yeah, but those positions that Bayrami and Czerny pick up, they're not wide on the line where you can actually maybe see them and get your distance right. They actually play an inside right, inside left position, and you've got to then watch, because the fullback will take you on.
Yeah, not a great clearance by Kelly. Hatate's header forward to Maidan. The threat snuffed out by Balogun, who wallops it clear into the Celtic half. Dessers loses out to Scales though. Liam Scales has timed his run perfectly for the business end of the season as well, returning to the starting 11. There was a long period there where Austin Trusty was preferred to him. He was out injured as well. As Celtic come forward, the low ball, Suter tries to cut it out, it breaks to Edat, comes off Balogun, and Celtic have their first corner of the afternoon, in the early afternoon here on BBC Radio Scotland. Celtic corner on the Celtic left as they attack the Copeland standoff to our right.
Yeah, that's a couple of runs now that down the side of John Suter that Adamida has made. That one he just, I think Suter tried to cut it out, but he just couldn't, and Adam picked it up. But that little ball up to Adam down the channel seems to be the preferred option for Celtic early on.
Arne Engels will take the corner. In swinger with the right foot on that far side. Nick Walsh taking charge of this fixture for the 6th time, just making sure everything's okay in the box. Now Engels will deliver into the 6-yard area. It's a good header away by Balogun with Carter Vickers in close attendance. Maida picks up the scraps but loses out to Raskin, who finds Barron. Fires it forward towards Bayrami down the right-hand side. Czerny trying to get up and support on the other side of the pitch. It's Bayrami wide in the Rangers' right, forced to turn back towards his own half. And passes it to Barron. Now Diamondi's been pickpocketed by Adamida. 3-on-2 in Celtic's favour. Ida through for James Forrest. A really good recovery challenge there by Balogun though, on the slide. About as last ditch as it gets really, as Jeff Day puts it out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. It is oh so sloppy from Rangers, and it's been symptomatic of their performances in recent matches, and there yet again.
Ida's got to do so much better, Packy. The pass is awful to James Forrest. Have made a brilliant kind of overlapping run. They've got a 3v2 and the pass is just woeful.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and very disappointing because he was as a good
Ralston
ball.
To Ida with the throw in. Ida at the byline pulls it across, Rangers clear. And then Taylor goes for it. Doesn't get his head onto, he's misjudged it, and Czerny gets it to Bayrami. He's going to fire it down that right-hand side. Raskin attacking the Celtic box. McGregor with a good challenge. Raskin picks it up again. Now Czerny shoots, deflected and tipped over the bar by Sinisalo.
Yeah,
Rangers corner from one end to the other. The game swings in the 9th minute, 0-0.
Yeah, a good counter-attack from Rangers. They had bodies high up the pitch. Czerny in particular got into a great position when that ball was struck. It looked as if it was going to loop over the goalkeeper, but he showed really good athleticism and agility to get back and tip it over. Obviously gives Rangers a corner again where they're strong, but end-to-end stuff.
Rangers corner over on the right, outswinger from Tavernier into the box. It's flicked away by Scales out to the far side. It's picked up by Tavernier again. In comes the cross, takes a deflection. Raskin heads for goal, and that's a good smart save down to his left by Sinisalo, who holds on to it as well. Yeah. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
Good start from the goalkeeper. You know what they say about making the big saves at the right time, and he's come up trumps. But as our Rangers have had the best chances. Go back to the Adamida chance to slot in for us. Yeah, it was brilliant. It was a 2v1 situation, and all he had to do was just knock it in front of James Forrest, and it was almost behind him.
Forrest gets it to Engels. Now it's with the Belgian, turns and rolls it out to Forrest on the near side, looking to get away from Barron, and a combination of Barron and Raskin win it back for Rangers, and it's passed back to Kelly, who launches it forward. It comes off the head of Dessers, back towards his own box though. Diamondi heads it into the centre circle. Dessers goes down, no foul by Carter Vickers.
He's got to be stronger, Dessers. Carter Vickers is winning that battle.
Rangers winning it back with Tavernier on the far side. He loses out to Taylor. Back along the grass to Scales in his own half. And now with Callum McGregor, who missed the last one at Celtic Park, and he was a big miss for Celtic on the afternoon. Carter Vickers here just turns away from Dessers and rolls it back to Sinisalo. If he keeps making saves, well, it might be more difficult for Kasper Schmeichel to get back in than everyone thought, though you would still imagine Schmeichel's got that Scottish Cup final as his target to return. Perhaps the week before, as Engels smashes a long ball out towards Maida. Up against Tavernier, it is Maida who collects. And Tavernier's had some difficult times against Maida, who finds Taylor, rolls it towards Forrest, blocked by Balogun, the little flick from Hatate. Ida will chase, right-hand side of the 6-yard box, keeps it in play, rolls it back up the line for Ralston, infield for McGregor, who'll turn away from Bayrami. Ushers it with the left foot out to Taylor at the left angle of the box, gets the cross in, it's deep, it's too deep. Goal kick Rangers, goalless at Ibrox. We played 11 and a half.
Yeah, it's good tempo to the game. There's good aggression to the game also. As I say, it's one of these games where, yes, the result matters from a pride point of view, but there's nothing at stake, I don't think, from a points perspective. So the two teams can go at each other.
Well, remarkably, Barry Ferguson today is looking to be the first Rangers manager to win his first 2 games against Celtic, which is quite incredible. Consider both these clubs have had their periods of dominance across the history of Scottish football, but for that not to have happened before now is pretty incredible. As Barron collects in the centre circle and rolls it out with the right foot to Jefty on the left. In front of the VAR monitor, Jefty back infield to Barron into the centre circle for Suter. Forward to Czerny. First time ball to Bayrami in the central area for Raskin, but Forrest's all over him and Forrest won it back and goes down. No foul though. Rangers pick up the loose ball, Suter out to the right for Czerny. Overlap from Bayrami. Czerny coming into a central position though. Stabs it to Jefty. Left of the D at the edge of the Celtic box. Back to Czerny. Delicate chip ball headed away by Taylor. His target was Bayrami. Celtic get it clear. Barron slides in to retain the ball for Rangers though. Now it's with Diamondi. Shipped it out left again for Jefty. Taking on Ralston. Forrest there too. Jefty gets his cross in. Cleared by Carter Vickers at the penalty spot. Now it's Raskin with the ball. Angles it in with the right foot. Blocked by McGregor. Barron picks it up. Finds Tavernier to the right. He goes back to Suter. Suter square to Nicholas Raskin. It's been a poor season for Rangers, of course. We kind of feel Nicholas Raskin's looking more at home at the club these days, and obviously now a full Belgian international, and there's a Belgian squad that Arne Engels didn't manage to get into last time, with 2 young Belgian talents out there, and he has looked better this season, Tomo.
Absolutely.
Raskin.
Yeah, he's probably been Rangers' best player this season, most consistent player, I would say. Since he came back into the team, his performance levels have got better and better, and he was rewarded with his call-up to the national team.
Back with the Finland international Sinisalo, who rolls it to his left for Scales. Scales with the ball, low out to the left touchline. Taylor in the Rangers half, Maida ahead of him. Instead he turns it infield to Hatate. Hatate got Celtic's equaliser in the meeting in March. The Rangers have only won once since then. That was their most recent victory against Dundee at Dens, as Dessers is adjudged to have fouled Ralston on the near side, and that will be a free kick to Celtic, which Ralston took miles away from the scene of the crime, albeit from further back. Now he's in the right place, and he plays it short to McGregor, who finds Taylor in the centre circle, who fires it out to the right foot of Forrest. Low ball to the edge of the box there for Ralston. Back out to Forrest, wide in the right. Celtic in the attacking third here. Forrest rolls it back to McGregor though now with Carter Vickers. Celtic being patient. They've scored 5 goals in each of their last 3 matches, 2 in the league, and of course 2 weeks ago at Hampden in the Scottish Cup semi. As Engels rolls it out to Ralston on the near side. A little bit short for Forrest, but the veteran, as he is these days, gets onto it. And Ralston back to Carter Vickers. And James Forrest, in particular, has probably been the embodiment of the Celtic period of dominance. Callum McGregor came in just after it had started. He's been racking up the medals too. James Forrest has been there throughout this entire golden age for Celtic. Since Rangers' title win in 2011, they've surrendered just the once of Celtic since then. That comes back to Scales on the halfway line, and then to Carter Vickers, just outside the centre circle. No goals here at Ibrox. The end of another busy weekend in the SPFL as Engels picks up, and he's got space here. Engels at the edge of the Rangers box finds Maida. Now Ida onto the right foot. His shot blocked for Suter. Might well have been heading for the bottom reverse left corner. That Celtic come again, and they're beginning to exert themselves here. Are the visitors? Forrest back out wide for Ralston, who rolls it back to McGregor. Then infield to Carter Vickers, right of the centre circle, to his left for Scales.
Celtic just circulating the ball, just trying to pick their passes through that midfield. Adam Ida had a really good chance there to get the ball on target, but what a good block from Suter. Really
it was lovely
good
touch
block
from Maeda as well to lay him in. I felt as though he could have got a shot of him slightly quicker.
They do this to Team Celtic. You just see them when they take the initiative in a game, they start to circle their prey, and that's exactly what they are doing here. Ralston wide in the right, no Rangers player went for it. Ralston has it the right angle of the box, crosses in, and it's flicked away by Suter, with Ida lurking behind him, looking to knock it into the net with a head. It stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0, but it's been a real worrying 3 or 4 minute spell this for Rangers. Celtic have them back against the ropes.
Yeah, they're keeping the ball awfully well, finding those wee pockets of space in the midfield.
One back by Diamonde though from Taylor on the far side. He's got Czerny scampering down the right-hand touchline. Taylor gets back onto it. The ball came back down the line. Now it's with Carter Vickers in the centre circle. Long ball, Maida. It's hung in the wind, and Kelly blocks with the boot there as it dropped to Maida, though there was a flag on the near side. And it will stay 0-0, but that just caught the wind there, and it almost worked out perfectly for Celtic's top scorer.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'll give Tavernier the credit there that he knew that he was offside and he let him go, but that ball in behind again is always so dangerous from Maeda. He makes that run, and there was hesitation from Liam Kelly. He didn't know whether to come or stay, and caught no man's land, but he was offside. So
free kick taken by Kelly, long with the right foot into the Celtic half, deep inside it. Scales wins the header, and it finds Engels. Now Ralston back to Arne Engels in the near side. It's a first-time ball looking for Forrest. He's going to test the pace of Balogun here. Right-hand side of the box, gets the low ball across, but Kelly will flop onto it before Ida was able to get a sniff, and on to 18 minutes. Stays nothing each.
Yeah, it was a lovely ball from Engels in behind for Forrest. Actually showed a decent bit of pace for his age. Anyway, now he's getting on a bit and just couldn't quite get the cross in. Balogun does reasonably well to put him under enough pressure that he couldn't get any real quality in the ball in.
Well, I mean, that was a battle between the two elder statesmen on the pitch. 36-year-old Balogun, 33-year-old Forrest. As Engels is adjudged to have committed the foul here, just about level with the edge of the centre circle in the Rangers half. On this near side, Raskin felt the brunt of that.
Yeah, probably the foul was given for being maybe just over-aggressive, but I thought he won the ball well.
Cleanly,
I think he won the ball well.
I didn't think it was a foul.
Free kick Rangers. The playoffs get underway this midweek, and featuring the top of the tree, the Premiership playoff quarter-final first leg. Partick Thistle hosting Ayr United on Tuesday. That's going to be live on the BBC Scotland TV channel. The second leg from Somerset, likewise on Friday. It's now with Liam Kelly at the edge of his own box. Long ball with the right foot and straight through to Carter Vickers, and poor ball back to the keeper. Dessers can't get onto it. Sinny Shallow was alive to the situation, and you could hear the former goalkeeper on the panel in the background when he saw that wayward, soft-looking ball from Carter Vickers come back to his goalkeeper. Perhaps memories of Roy Aitken's short back passes back in the day, Packy, there flashing through your mind.
Oh, it never passed it back to me. It was always, and I would shout to make sure that that wasn't going to happen.
You could pick it up though back there.
I know, yeah, but you could see it developing. You could see it developing as soon as he picked the ball up, and he was blind, and he turned around and he played a pass without seeing what was behind him, and you could just see it developing. But he got away with it. He got away with it.
You could hear the struggle with that. Theo Snelders with a brilliant goalkeeper for Aberdeen. Celtic have it here. McGregor, low ball out to Forrest, early into the area, and Shooters there to put it behind for the corner. Celtic are knocking on the door here at Ibrox. 21 almost played. It is goalless, and Barry Ferguson turns and moves back to his dugout with his hands in his pockets. It's been a difficult period for them.
Yeah, Forrest sees two options there. One, to carry to the byline and force maybe centre halves then to make a different decision, but he tried to play it in first time, and it just was well read by John Souttar and that. But Celtic, yeah, they're just turning the screws slightly to get more possession now.
Outswinger from Engels on this main stand side. Celtic attacking the goal to the right, and it comes. It's a good delivery as well, flicked away by Balogun and cleared by Czerny. One of 4 changes to the Rangers side for this one this afternoon. Václav Czerny back in the starting 11 with Balogun, Barron, Bajrami. Celtic with Ralston, Forrest and Ida in from the side that won so handsomely at Tannadice last Saturday to seal the deal. It is Carter Vickers picking up under pressure from Dessers and rolling it to the left for Taylor. And then down the line for Hatate, infield for Engels. Tries to hold off his countryman Raskin, and it's going to be a foul there by the Rangers midfielder. Celtic free kick left of the centre circle just inside their own half. Raskin going at the referee, and Callum McGregor I think is making the point there that it's only the captains who are allowed to go and remonstrate with the referee, and even then there's only so much you can say. The Celtic skipper pushing Bajrami away now, and Nick Walsh is going to have to try and calm the situation down. To be fair, it's not often you see Callum McGregor losing his cool.
No, I think obviously Raskin came in after he's been speaking and tried to push him out of the way, and then there was a confrontation. But yeah, yes, listen, handbag stuff. This is just very simple stuff in a game. Celtic Rangers.
Free kick Celtic. Scales takes short to the left for Taylor. Now it's back with Scales. Taylor on the left-hand side. Long ball, takes a touch off Diamonde, and it's broken for Maida. It's a lovely spin away from Tavernier, rolls it along the 18-yard line, cut out by Balogun.
Very simple stuff in a game. Celtic Rangers.
Takes short to the left for Taylor. Now it's back with Scales. Taylor on the left-hand side. Long ball, takes a touch off Diamonde, and it's broken for Maida. It's a lovely spin away from Tavernier, rolls it along the 18-yard line, cut out by Balogun. Bajrami's onto it, finds Diamonde, back to Bajrami, hooks it forward, looking for Czerny. Scales under pressure. There, a little bit of fresh air with the initial attempt to clear it. He's managed to knock it out for a throw-in to Rangers midway inside. Celtic territory on the gets his head onto it, and it's found its way through Sinisalo. Only scored once in their last 6 games at Ibrox. Cyril Desser's consolation against Motherwell at the start of March. He scored in every game here before that this season. In comes Tavernier's free kick, and Raskin gets his head onto it, and it's found its way through Sinisalo. And Rangers make the breakthrough, and it's the man who gave them the lead across the city in the last derby who gives them the lead here. It is Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
Well, I mentioned the delivery having to be on point, and that's exactly what it was. The quality of the ball in from James Tavernier is superb. The big question for Celtic is, how is nobody picking up Nico Raskin? He gets the free header round about the penalty spot, maybe a touch closer, down low to the goalkeeper's left.
Now the two teams, I think, were quite high.
Yeah.
Raskin's offside. This goal is not going to stand. No.
Tighten them, get close, don't let anybody get a free header.
I mean, Raskin's probably one of the, if not the smallest player on the pitch as well.
This goal, I think, is going to be ruled out. Raskin's offside. This goal is not going to stand. No goal. It stays goalless at Ibrox. The boos from the Rangers supporters, the cheers from the Celtic fans on the far side. Raskin offside when he got his head onto it, and it stays. Rangers 0, Celtic 0.
That's really disappointing for Rangers, obviously, especially when it's so tight like that. Obviously, we've not seen it, but it can only be inches, you would imagine.
It's a let-off for Celtic, Packy.
Yeah, of course it is. And you know, that's, as we have already mentioned, 3 headers now. Goalkeeper made a save. One was off the top of the crossbar, and there's one was disallowed. And that they've got to fix, and they've got to fix very quickly. And it's not down to the coaches on the side of the pitch now. It's down to the players themselves taking responsibility. And then they can sort it maybe out at half-time. But if Rangers do get set pieces, you know where that ball's going to go, right in the box.
And the goalkeeper perhaps relieved as well, Packy. Got a touch on it, squirmed through him though.
Yeah, well listen, I didn't quite see that part of it, as you know, as a goalkeeper, but you know, it's close in and top of him. But
Tavernier on the far side, touchline back to Barron, and now Suter. Rangers thought they had the lead, snatched away from them. Obviously didn't learn from the last game. It was a header from Raskin as well. He's one of the smaller players on the pitch. They gave them the lead at Celtic Park. And it happened again there, this time from a free kick rather than a corner. As Jeffrey loses out to Ralston. Forrest goes forward, goes down. Free kick Celtic on the cusp of the attacking section of the pitch there.
I'll tell you what, it was from Rangers' perspective, it was a good free kick because Hatate was in a brilliant position about 25 yards from goal, all the space, and if Forrest had to get past the first man, just laid into his path, and he had a great chance to open up and score.
Just giving the ball away like that in a dangerous position, really slack from Jeffrey.
28 on the clock, 0-0. Celtic with a free kick in an attacking position now. Slightly closer to the goal than the Rangers one was a moment ago when Tavernier found Raskin's head. And it's Engels who's over this one. 2 Rangers players in front of him, and Czerny and Bayrami, the edge of the penalty area. Engels delivers, poor delivery, really bad in the way by Dessers running about the penalty spot. Engels having to chase back to get onto it here, and the Rangers fans think he used an arm to control that. Back facing his own goal, he's able to get onto it and clear it into the Rangers half, where Balogun picks it up and plays it short to Raskin.
You expect better quality than that. Really good position for the free kick as well.
And he has it in his locker, that's the point. You know, it was you've got to just put it into an area where people can go and attack, or you get somebody across the front of that first defender.
Jeffrey's header infield from the near side touchline goes straight to Engels. Now it's with Ralston, back to the halfway line for Carter Vickers. Steps away from Dessers, stabs it forward to Engels. Couldn't quite get it past Barron for Hatate, and Rangers have it back with Raskin. Fouled by McGregor, but he stays on his feet, dances away from another challenge, shifts it forward to Czerny. And it's cut out in the halfway line. And this one, there's Nick Walsh.
Now the Rangers fans are wanting McGregor to be booked.
Free kick. He's given the free kick eventually there. He allowed Rangers an advantage.
It wasn't a booking, it was a foul, and that's what it is. You get into the game, unless you deserve a booking. There was nothing to be deserved in that from and they will react because of what happened earlier in the game.
There's a wee bit of needle.
Approaching the half hour now. Rangers have a free kick. Suter's over it. No goals yet. Rangers have hit the bar. They've hit the ball in the net through. Raskin ruled out for an offside. Celtic had a period there, probably between 10 and 25 minutes when they were on top. The Rangers have weathered that, and it's Suter with the free kick. Long, high ball out to the far side. Tavernier gets himself away from Maida. Back to Diamonde. And to Barron in field. Barron into the feet of Tavernier over on the right-hand side. Maida in close attendance. Back out to the touchline for Diamonde. Roll it back with the right foot to Suter. Again, right-footed ball out to Czerny on the touchline on the far side. Czerny now dancing in field. Low ball looking for Raskin, cut out by Forrest. It's come off a Celtic boot and it's gone behind for the corner. To Rangers on this near side, the Rangers left as they attack the goal to the left.
Well, let's have a good look at who's picking who up here in this from this set piece, this corner kick, and it's going to be, I think, Tavernier that's going to take it as an outswinger. An in-swinger, sorry.
In-swinger, yeah.
In-swinger, sure.
Yeah. This has been a problem for Celtic in the game. Tavernier waits to take. What quality does he have here? Diamonde wrestling with Engels in the 6-yard box, and the ref's going to have to wait or hold up the corner to have a word with the two of them.
Yeah, and just the way they're lined up on the penalty spot, Rangers have got 4 players almost in a line, but behind each other. Very difficult to actually pick up, and Raskin is the last one of them who will probably find himself again getting into a space.
Tavernier then with it into the 6-yard area. This time it's a Celtic head that wins it, and it's Carter Vickers. Drops to Forrest on the far side touchline. Trying to get away from a couple of challenges. He'll settle for that as it comes off Barron and goes out for a Celtic throw-in over on the far side. That was better defending this time, Carter Vickers.
It was a very good header from Carter Vickers, and they all stuck to their men in that occasion.
Sports Sound here in BBC Radio Scotland, across the frequencies on the radio, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Rangers 0, Celtic 0. It is Ralston across the halfway line. Big switch, looking for Maida, who collects at the left angle of the box. Brilliant control, little back heels clever. Taylor in the box, crowded out. And it goes behind off Diamonde for a Celtic corner.
Yeah, good play, nice switch of play from Ralston over to Maeda, and then that underlap from Greg Taylor, and just slotting them in to win their corner.
It's been a decent game, actually. It's gone from one end to the other, even though there's been no goals officially yet. Will be Engels to take. In swinger with the right boot over on the far side, between the Copeland road end and the Sandy Jardine Govan stand on the far side. In from Engels, a good delivery, and it's tipped over the bar by Kelly. Carter Vickers got his head to it, and it goes behind for another corner on the Rangers right this time. Oh, sorry, the Celtic right.
Yeah, good touch over from Liam Kelly. He's seen it all the way, obviously. But again, you know, Carter Vickers this time getting above the Rangers defence to get a good, strong header.
Yeah, good leap by Kelly to tip it over. And Engels comes out to take the corner on this near side this time. Outswinger on this occasion. Rangers have everyone back in or around their box. Bayrami's the most advanced, he's in the D, and it comes from Engels. A good delivery, Carter Vickers wins the header again, blocked by Balogun. The referee blows, and it will be a Rangers free kick inside their own area. It's another opportunity for Carter Vickers, though.
Yeah, he's given for a foul. I think maybe Carter Vickers was kind of leaning on top of Balogun as he made the header, maybe climbing a wee bit, I don't know, but Nick Walsh clearly wasn't having it.
Liam Kelly to take. Certainly not been played like a dead rubber.
No, never. These games never played in that way. There's a good intensity by the game, aggressive chances, and yeah, it's been good and decent play.
Suter up and under with the right foot. It's going to come all the way through to Taylor. He'll be able to see it behind for the goal kick over by the corner flag in front of the Celtic supporters. It's another week of celebrating their latest title success. That's the thing, despite Rangers' 2 wins in this fixture recently, they feel as far away and far behind Celtic as they've ever been.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a desperate season for Rangers. The European stuff probably the only highlight for them. So disappointing.
Taylor loses out on the far side. Raskin gets it out to Bayrami on the right. Dessers has made a move into the box. It's towards Dessers, but Sinisalo's onto it. Yeah. Not sure if Dessers was on or offside there had he got onto it, but the keeper with his gloves on the ball, 10 to the break, 0-0. Here comes Celtic with Forrest up the other end. He was into a central position outside of the boot, ball forward. I think he was looking for Maida. Breaks to Ida, slips just as he tries to shoot, and it's picked up by Tavernier at the edge of his 6-yard box. Takes it out to the right and clips a long ball forward, which is met by Carter Vickers, who's looking for Scales on the far side. Midway inside his own half, he goes back to Sinisalo. It looked like Paki had opened up beautifully for Celtic there.
Yeah, it did in that, but again, I was impressed with Sinisalo making that decision to come off his line and intercept that ball, because if it did reach the back post, it could have been an opportunity for Dessers. He may have been offside, but the anticipation of the goalkeeper and then building the game up from that perspective to give Celtic an opportunity higher up the pitch.
So Jeffrey rolls it into Suter. Going to be picked up by Hatate on the halfway line. Gets it forward there to Taylor in that inverted full-back position he loves to occupy. To the left of the box for Maida. Level with the penalty spot. Now with Hatate. To Maida. To Hatate at the left angle of the box. This cross comes in. Headed up into the air by Suter. Bouncing round about the edge of the D. Raskin loses out to Engels. He manages to work it back to Ralston. Infield to McGregor. To Ralston. Low ball out to Engels on this near side, and then down the line for Forrest. Facing his own goal though, finds Engels, and was back to McGregor, and now with Carter Vickers. And Celtic have Rangers pinned in again here. Ralston, right foot, bending ball in. Kelly commits himself and gets both gloves onto it. Clutches at the right angle of the 6-yard box, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0 on 37.
He's hurt himself here, Paki, is he?
He has. He's come down. I don't know whether he's done his ankle or he certainly had put his hand up in the air very, very quickly when he hit that ground, and he clashed in, and I think it was Suter, was it? That he sort of banged into. Was it a ball? One of those balls way to the back post. He's not as big as Liam Kelly, but he had to come for it.
He did well to catch it. Yeah,
and he did well.
It was just on the way down. He collided with Suter, and you're right. He put his hand up, kind of really quickly, indicating that he might have a problem. The physio's working on him now.
Is anyone on top in this game coming up towards 38 minutes? Do you feel that one team's dominating the other, or is this
Celtic had a spell in the match? Celtic had a spell when you thought they were looking really dangerous, but you probably have to say that Rangers have the better opportunities in the game so far.
They've started off well, Rangers, didn't they? And then Celtic got into the game, and that period they dominated. But they always look a bit of a threat when on the counter-attack, Rangers. And yeah, you're right, they've had the better chances almost from set pieces, you've got to say. Maybe the one that Journey that struck it and it deflected over the top of the goalkeeper and he made the save. But
Scales goes back to Sinisalo, clears under pressure from Dessers with the left foot, bouncing ball in the centre circle. Balogun has 2 bites at getting that away with the head. Adam Ida's battling with him though, and now it's broken James Forrest's way. He's looking to get the early ball through for Maida. Jeffrey nips in just to prevent it getting through to Maida. Celtic scored 5 last week. Maida didn't score any of them like him. And here come Rangers. Bayrami out to the right. Diamonde attacking the Celtic box, right hand side. It's cross cut out by Scales at the expense of a Rangers corner. Scales is looking at the assistant and asking why he's not getting a decision there.
I don't know what he was looking for.
I think it was for offside.
I didn't think he was offside. You know, the ball's played down the side. Obviously, Greg Taylor's out of position, so it forces Scales to go out onto that sort of almost left back position. But he did well, Scales, to get the block in a 1v1 situation. But it is another set piece.
Changing corner taker for Rangers. Václav Černy's going to take it again in front of the Celtic fans. In swinger with the left foot. It's poor. It's away by McGregor. Another poor deliveries. A couple of players out there who've been guilty of that today. On both sides. As Jeffrey rolls it out to Tavernier. Rangers recycling it here. It's an early, long, high ball into the Celtic box. Suter wins the header and heads it wide. He's got his head in his hands, rubbing the back of his head now as well. He's scored in this fixture before. As John Suter on this occasion, it's a good yard or so past the right-hand post, and it stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0, 5 to the break.
Typical header, really. I mean, there was no pace on the ball. It was floated from Tavernier from about 40 yards out to the back post area. It gets up above Ralston well, but really difficult to get any kind of purchase or direction on the header.
Brendan Rodgers looking a little bit irked down there, Packy, right now.
Yeah, to a point. I think it's one of them games where, you know, they've done okay, but not dominant in the way that he probably would like them to.
Raskin scampering forward, works into the right angle of the box. Czerny goes for goal. It's well over the bar, and that will stay 0-0 here at Ibrox.
I mean, you know, Czerny's going to do that as soon as he receives the ball. He likes to cut in on his left foot, but on that occasion it was the wrong option to go for the shot. I don't think it was on from the angle he was at. He got it horribly wrong.
Fifth and final meeting between them this season. Celtic won the first two, including their penalty shootout victory in the League Cup final. Rangers prevailing in the most recent two. Brendan Rodgers, despite those recent defeats, still has the best winning percentage of a manager in the fixture, having taken charge of it more than once. Barry Ferguson, of course, 1 out of 1 so far. Rodgers' record is still the best overall, with Steven Gerrard next up. Two very recent managers of this fixture and enjoyed dominance in it as Barron rolls it out to Raskin on the left. Midway inside the Celtic half. A dreadful ball by Raskin. I'm not sure.
He was trying to play it without outside
away from Dessers, yeah.
He was trying to play it without outside of his foot and just caught it straight. Poor pass from Raskin.
It's gone behind for the goal kick.
Yeah, 4 minutes to go in this opening half. Critical time, obviously, for both teams. They don't want to go on a goal down, so just keeping their concentration at the moment is critical.
Barry Ferguson's first go at this fixture was a goalless draw. It's James Forrest as well with the bounce. He used it for a dummy there. Forrest driving down the right touchline, rolls it into the centre circle for Hatate, who turns it to Taylor in the inside channel on the left. Then back to the edge of the centre circle for McGregor, who goes back to Taylor, who rolls it back onto the halfway line for Scales. Square ball for Carter Vickers. And he's striding into the Rangers half. Flicks it with the outside of the boot to Ralston, onto the touch for Forrest. Ralston gives him an option in the overlap. Instead it's infield to Engels. His ball forward, the return to Forrest, cut out by Raskin.
It's not a good half, Engels, for me.
He looks off it, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's struggled a bit. It's a few giveaways, should be doing better with his quality. I have to say, I think that once Rangers have settled into the game, Bayrami's doing quite a good job at times latching on to Callum McGregor. He's not really dictating the game as we've seen him do in the past.
But he's not had the impact at Rangers this season that they were hoping. He was brought in from Sassuolo last summer, relegated from Serie A as Hatate knocks it through to Ida. He's got goal side of Suter, he's in! And Kelly saves. Best chance of the game for Celtic. Adam Ida. So the whites of Kelly's eyes there when he shot straight at him. The Rangers keeper made himself big. He makes the save. Behind for the corner, which Forrest takes quickly. Engels across and swept away on the 6-yard line by Balogun. It stays Rangers 0, Celtic 0. 90 seconds of the opening 45 left. And that is Celtic's best opportunity of the game. And it came to the man who won the Scottish Cup final against Rangers last season, the shape of Adam Ida. Here come Rangers. Czerny with the dummy. Dessers is in and he scores! Cyril Dessers opens the scoring for Rangers. Seconds after Ida was one-on-one with Kelly at the other end. Dessers in the box. Turns it home with the left foot into the bottom right reverse corner. Past Sinisalo. And that breaks the derby deadlock here at Ibrox, where it is Rangers 1, Celtic 0, and the champions' problems with the Old Firm fixture are coming to the fore again here.
Well, Well, it's a massive moment for Cyril Dessers. He does so well to show great upper body strength to hold off Liam Scales, and then the finish is absolutely superb down past Sinny Salo. But it's incredible how the game just flipped there, and it was a counter-attack. Adam Idah should score at the other end. It's a good save from Kelly, but from the resulting corner, Rangers break away, and Cyril Dessers, love him or loathe him, he scores goals.
I did say just before half-time, neither team wanted to go in a goal down, and here you have two huge chances in the game with in a couple of minutes to half-time. Adam misses and Dessers puts it in the back of the net, and that's the difference between the two teams.
Well, it's the difference between the two teams today, but the shoe's normally on the other foot. It's normally Celtic who take those opportunities as Idah battles for it in the Rangers box. Cut out and away by Barron. And now it's Cyril Dessers who rolls it to Czerny. Dessers can't get back onto it. Celtic trying to win it back in the midfield there. That, incidentally, Cyril Dessers' 25th goal of the season. Now, that is the kind of goal tally that is more than acceptable, perhaps even at one of the big Glasgow clubs. 25 goals.
Yeah, the problem though is that they haven't shared it around. They haven't shared it around the team. You know, Celtic have probably what, half a dozen, maybe more. 7 in double figures.
Yes, they've got 2 over 20, and Idah's not far off breaking that mark himself. But it's Rangers who have the lead here. We're in the first of 2 minutes of stoppages at the end of the first half. Here's Taylor on the halfway line and out to Maida. And back it comes to Taylor. It's just the second back to Taylor. Rangers have it again. Czerny toes it away from Scales, but it goes out of play for a throw-in.
The story of the game.
It's half-time. Blame their players. Celtic, of course, already have the championship wrapped up. That's all that counts for them. But they find themselves behind at the break here. Cyril Dessers' late first half goal has the home team 1-0 up. They thought they'd gone in front before that when Raskin found the net with a header on 25 minutes. He was found to be offside after the VAR check. And as we went into the 45th minute, after Idah had missed a one-on-one up the other end, Cyril Dessers found himself left-hand side of the box, and he reversed the ball home into the bottom right corner to give Rangers the lead in what's been a match that hasn't exactly been played in dead rubber fashion. But Celtic, who have lost the last 2 of these, despite winning the league, find themselves behind again to their neighbours at the break at Ibrox Stadium, where at half-time it is Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
Rangers versus Celtic.
Chance and it's in, goal!
The Old Firm Derby. This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland, where Scottish football lives.
It has once again been an intense encounter, as it always is between these two, but that late first half strike from Cyril Dessers is enough to separate the sides. You'll see full extended highlights of this on Sports Scene tonight, and there's a real feast of football for you actually on BBC Scotland. 7:15 for Sports Scene on the BBC Scotland channel. Now will be followed by the lower league highlights, the SPFL highlights, which are generally online as of a Monday, but there is a programme on the telly this evening that you can watch. You get the lower league highlights from 8:15. That follows Sports Scene, and then Falkirk fans in particular will be very interested to watch the programme at 8:45. Just a 15 minutes, but it's how Falkirk won the league on that dramatic final evening in the Scottish Championship. So 2 hours virtually of football on the BBC Scotland channel this evening. Sports Scene with all the Premiership highlights, the lower league highlights, all the action from the Championship Leagues 1 and 2, as we got those divisions sorted out yesterday in the playoffs format finalised as well, and then how Falkirk won the league, and they can now finally look forward to being back in top flight football. So do tune in to BBC Scotland this evening. After we're finished at 3 o'clock, it'll be Off the Ball, so stay tuned for that. And in the week ahead, Monday to Friday, the Scottish Football Daily podcast published. You can pick that up wherever you get your podcasts. And then those playoffs, the live television coverage begins Tuesday and Friday with, of course, the quarterfinals of the Premiership playoff. Partick Thistle against Ayr United on the Tuesday. Ayr United against Partick Thistle on the Friday. Both those matches live on BBC Scotland. And, of course, there is action across the country as the playoffs get up and running. For the teams who have made it through to the end of season shootout. Full coverage on the radio, on the telly, and of course online at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. Right, Tom English, what have you made of an opening 45 minutes at Ibrox?
Well, I think Rangers are the better team and they're deservedly ahead. You know, they had chances early on. Balogun, Cherney, Raskin, then the Raskin goal that was ruled out. Celtic have had a few chances, but I don't think they're anywhere close to the pitch of this game yet. Nothing from Forrest, nothing from Maeda, very little from Ida until he went through one-on-one and he fluffed his chance. Engels has been poor, giving the ball away. Hatate and McGregor haven't been as influential as you'd expect them to be. I think Rangers are clearly the better side. They're deservedly ahead, and that was a kind of it was a sliding doors moment, wasn't it, when Ida misses one up one end, and then Dessers, the much maligned Dessers, the player we keep hearing from Rangers people has no place at Ibrox, puts them ahead. 25 goals this season. They kind of want a 25 goal a season striker. They're desperate for one, and they actually have one, and they want to get rid of him. Bizarre, but anyway, I think Rangers are playing well. They're playing like a side that, you know, want to try and salvage some pride, and I think Celtic are considerably off it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about a sliding doors moment. If you had told anyone who wasn't watching that there were two opportunities for one-on-ones, for one for each side, to Ida and Dessers, you might have anticipated the outcomes being the reverse just because of the chances he misses. But he has been their go-to man for goals for the past couple of seasons, Cyril Dessers. And I know I'll get Thomas' thoughts on this in a moment or two, but the one thing that I hear so much about Cyril Dessers, Tom, is he never gives up. He never allows it to get to mentally. He's got to be so tough given how many chances he misses.
How many chances he misses and how much abuse he takes.
Oh.
And he strikes me, I've only interviewed him once, but he strikes me as the kind of guy who he listens to it, maybe he reads it. He's a bright guy. When I spoke to him, very much aware of the stick that he'd been taking from the Rangers fans, and yet he keeps coming back. I mean, I think there's great resilience in the guy. He's a goal scorer. Yes, he's a goal misser as well. But wow, 25 goals. That's a hell of a haul, and the season isn't over yet. Still a few games to go. That's and some important goals in there. And today, look, in the grand scheme of things, today is not important. But it's a goal against Celtic, and a very nicely taken goal as well. I'd be a fan of Dessers because of his resilience. Really, I really admire that he's a tough character given the stick that he's been getting for practically 2 seasons now.
Right, he certainly took it in a very composed fashion. It is the goal that separates the sides. Did you get a chance to have a look at the one that was ruled out, Tom?
No, we've got...
Right, you guys don't have it there.
We don't have monitors. What did you think?
Yeah, they're drawn the lines, and actually even before they drew the lines in, you could see that Raskin was just leaning a little bit forward. So there was enough of his upper torso that was behind the last Celtic defender, so I don't think there would be any real complaints there. I mean, certainly from Brendan Rodgers' point of view, Tom, he talked beforehand about needing to find the momentum, the intensity right from the start. I mean, Rangers actually might have scored in the opening minute, and Celtic did have a spell. There was a spell where they looked like they were going to emerge, but all credit to Rangers again, and especially given the run they've been on and the run they've been on at Ibrox. They actually saw that through and finished the stronger with a goal just before the break.
Yeah, and they do have an edge to them, Rangers, and it's bizarre. Like, I mean, it's ridiculous. You look at the games that they've lost here. Is there 1 goal in 6?
Yeah.
and that's 10 goals in 3.5 games against Celtic. So this is just bonkers. This team is bonkers. I think this team will be largely broken up because you can't trust them. I mean, you can trust them again in a European game, and they'll acquit themselves well. You can trust them in an Old Firm game. They're always up for them. You know, that's only a small fraction of the season. What about the rest of the games? And they let themselves down very badly. But they're playing well today. I think Balogun and Suter are defending well. But both teams have issues with balls delivered into the box. But Balogun and Suter have had important interventions, and that's a decent combination for them so far. Celtic, you would imagine that they'll throw a whole lot more at them. If they don't, like it's. And I'm not saying this is any significance for them today, because obviously the league is won and all that. They put that to bed, but they don't want to go into the Scottish Cup final on a series of downers.
No.
You know, that's the only for Brendan Rodgers and for Celtic. That's really the only significance. It's about the Scottish Cup final for them now, and they want to hit that Scottish Cup final feeling very good about themselves, and they won't be feeling very good about themselves after that half.
Incidentally, that was Cyril Desser's 30th league goal for Rangers. 16 in the Premiership last season, 14 this. So he's certainly still with a few games to go. Has the opportunity to emulate his tally from last season. And as the boys were saying, 25 goals in all competitions. Rangers are in front. Tomo, you agree with Tom that Rangers deserve to be in front?
Yeah, I do. I think it's been a decent performance from Rangers. They've created opportunities. They've had to soak up a bit of pressure at times when Celtic have had the ball. I've been really disappointed with Celtic. I think they're lacking, when you don't often say it about them, but lacking a wee bit of creativity. Rangers are defending well, as Tom pointed out. Balogun and Suter doing well. Tavernier's done really well on Maeda over on the left-hand side. Just sticking to him, getting close to him, not allowing him to turn and face him up. So he's done that well. I think tactically Rangers have got it spot on, Barry and the rest of the guys. I think Bayrami, I thought he'd play out on the left-hand side in a 4-2-3-1, but he's playing in at the top of a diamond, basically just sitting on Callum McGregor. And Callum McGregor's not had a big influence on the game. You know, we've seen it so often in Old Firm games, but he's not really been dictating or dominating the game. So I've been disappointed by Celtic, but I think Rangers deserve to be in the lead. But I expect Celtic to come out in the second half and improve their performance level, because that's not what we're used to seeing from this Celtic team.
Pat, what have you made of Celtic's performance in the opening 45 minutes?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't totally agree with Tom and say that Rangers are that far ahead. He's not listening to me now because he's...
Sorry.
So I wasn't agreeing totally with you that Rangers were that far ahead. They're ahead because they got the goal. If Adam had a score, Adam either had to score that goal.
We
might have been speaking now. It's only within a minute of half time. So there was a period where Rangers started off really well, and they created chances from set pieces, mind you, not from open play as such. Maybe one that was deflected. But Celtic then got into the game and they dominated the final ball into the box. And I agree with them from a point of view that Suter and Balogun has defended those balls into the box. Maybe those ones that's cut back and Celtic haven't been able to get on the end of them, and maybe wrong decisions at times. But I think they've dominated parts of the game, Celtic, and they haven't been able to turn it into creating the key chances that we'd normally to expect from them. Maeda's been quiet, but that's down to James Tavern defending well against him from that perspective. But you know, in the middle of the pitch, it's been Celtic have had lots of the ball at times. So I don't think too much wrong at Celtic. They've got to defend set pieces better. They've got to maybe up by 5% in certain positions, and then I think they're still very much game, and if they had to get that first goal, then certainly that would have been a complete change. And I did say just half time, neither team wants to go on a goal down, because that just what we're going to be talking about, and it changes the whole selection of the game, because you have to change your tactics, and maybe at half time you might have to think about putting on players who might give you a little edge, and it gives you the team who scored a lot of confidence, and that's the difference. I didn't see a lot from Bayrami in the game, and I didn't see a lot from Dessers, apart from he scored that critical goal up front. Tierney's been the key player for them, and from that perspective, so there's not much between the teams. Rangers have just edged it because they've got a goal and because they've made better chances. That would be my reflection on the first half.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt they've made more chances, but actually Celtic have had Ida twice in the box. The first one, the shot blocked by Suter. The next one, I think, Tomo, as you said, he's got to score. He's through the middle. He's got to show the composure that Dessers showed just a few seconds later.
Give credit to the goalkeeper, though. He was out really quickly. Liam Kelly on top of him and narrowed all the space, and that was a big save. I've got
he didn't have an angle. He didn't have an angle either. He was too straight on. You know, I felt as though he could maybe have tried to go round Liam Kelly. Might have been a better option, but he was kind of straight on, so he didn't have an angle. But yeah, I mean, you'd expect him to be hitting the back of the net, one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So it was Celtic's biggest chance of the half by a considerable distance. But you know, having watched Celtic this season and certainly going with our last 3 games, the chances that they create and the pressure that put opposition defences under, they've not really been firing in all cylinders. And I know you could probably look at the fact that Kuhn and Jota aren't in the starting lineup, and you know, Maeda's been so effective as a centre forward for them. I think that's obviously a big miss. You know, it's 2 quality players.
That tempo, they missed that tempo, that pace, the ability to get in behind. Maeda, even though, you know, he's played so much football wide on the left, he's now better through the middle, right? So that front 3 has been taken apart, and it's the front 3 they have today just not cutting it.
And the other thing you got 2 players down the right hand side that haven't really played a lot together, you know, and they've really missed Johnson. Probably I haven't seen Ralston really getting to the bile and getting beyond James Forrest in this game. So that's a big takeaway from the game for me, and that's Celtic when they're really unstrung. You see Johnson getting into great positions. The big surprise, and I think the big surprise for all of us, and Thomas touched on it, that Rangers against a good opposition, top opposition, they perform. And they performed here today, you know, and it's a dilemma, it's a quandary that the Rangers fans and Barry Ferguson and all will be talking about. How can you not perform against
nobody's able to work it out back? He's been tried on many an occasion.
It's incredible that they can put up this decent performance against top opposition, and they can't do it against lesser opposition. Mentality. Only thing.
Mentality, yeah, has to be. What else could it be? Only mentality.
Well, the point was, I think, was it Stephen who made the point earlier that actually Rangers do better against teams that come out and actually give them space and attack them, and they're not having to find a way to grind down 8-9 man defence. Does that play into it, do you think?
Absolutely, for me, I think it does. You know, Rangers, when they come up against a team like you've just explained, struggle to be creative and to break teams.
Well, that's about quality, and Stephen, it's not about mentality. But I just think it's mentality. If you go against lesser opposition and you go about your business properly, should have enough quality in this Rangers team. And we've seen quality there today to be able to go and create and grind teams down. If you haven't got it, the mentality right.
But with all due respect to Queen's Park, even if they play the low block, which they did, Rangers should be good enough to score a goal against Queen's Park. I mean, you know, I get the argument that Rangers are definitely better playing against opposition that you know, will allow them to play and won't play the low block. Of course they are. But that doesn't explain some of the defeats that they've had, many of the defeats that they've had. It doesn't go close enough to explaining that.
Well, I'm sure Barry Ferguson would love to be able to come up with the answer. It may be that he's about to come up with the answer today. At least they have had much more acceptable results against Celtic in recent times, and they're halfway towards the victory this afternoon. A reminder, you can watch all the action, the extended highlights on Sport Scene tonight, 7:15, BBC Scotland channel. That will be followed by the SPFL Lower League highlights, half hour worth of that, and then followed by a 15-minute programme, a special on how Falkirk won the championship on that exciting final evening that unfolded live on BBC Scotland on Friday night. So lots to look forward to. Final hour of the programme will reflect on all the action from yesterday. But right now it is time to settle back and enjoy what I'm sure will, as ever, be another engrossing 45 minutes at Ibrox. It is Rangers 1, Celtic 0, as we return you to Liam McLeod.
Game underway here at Ibrox, with Celtic going from right to left, having kicked off in the green and white hoops towards the Broomloan Road end. Rangers in the blue and white going towards the Copeland Road end, left to right. And just once in the last 26 meetings between these two has the team that scored first lost. Rangers have that first goal just before the break through Desser's 25th of the season, and they are in the box seat. No changes for either team at the start of the second half. Conditions about the same, a little bit windy. Sun's trying to break through the clouds above here as Taylor squeezes it back to his goalkeeper. For Rangers, Kelly in goal, Tavernier, Suter, Balogun, Jefte, Raskin, Barron, Cherny, Diamonde, Bayrami, and Dessers. Celtic with Sinisalo in goal, Ralston, Carter, Vickers, Scales and Taylor, Engels, McGregor, Hatate, Forrest, Maida, Ida. And it's with Carter Vickers who rolls it back to Sinisalo on the edge of his box. A couple of good saves in that first half. The fin between the sticks for the champions this afternoon. He couldn't do anything about Desser's finish, albeit he also lost sight of a Raskin header but was bailed out by an offside VAR review. It's Scales just coming across halfway here and then turns away from Cherny and knocks it forward to Ida. Then to Hatate. Well, the Celtic players have had a rocket from their manager at the break. It is Forrest at the right angle of the box, the overlapping Ralston. His cross is cut out. It will be a Celtic corner right at the start of the second half here, in front of their fans, over in that Govan West corner of the stadium.
Yeah, well, that's the first time I think we've seen Ralston in this game getting into a really good position to put a cross in, and it was blocked for the corner.
Well, you said early on he doesn't offer the same threat as Alistair Johnston does in that position. He does have it in him. Corner, Engels, outswinger, right-footed, in it comes, headed away by Suter. There's a flag on the far side. Suter went to ground. It will be a Rangers free kick.
I think the ball was out.
It might well have swung behind the byline.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Rangers without a win in their last 5, having gone 6 without since going 10 with no wins in 05-06 at the tail end of Ali McLeish's tenure. A run which included 2 games against Celtic and a Champions League trip to face Inter. Their last win was the late one at Dundee at the end of March when Desser scored to make it 4-3. 2 wins in 8. Lost 5 of their last 6 here, having lost just 5 of their previous 47 in their own stadium. It has fallen off a cliff here spectacularly. They lead the champions 1-0. They've got a throw-in up the pitch here. Cherny's over it, but he might just leave it for Tavernier. Looks as though he is, and this is just beyond the midway point of the Celtic half on the main stand side.
Yeah, it shows you the lack of height there with Celtic also. They worked that goal kick really well. They've obviously put Tavernier high up the pitch. They've got Cherny, they've got Dessers, and they end up wanting a throw-in and a very good position to get it into the box.
Tavernier's going to try and bowl a long one into the box here. Kind of slipped through his fingers at the crucial moment, and it barely made the box. Headed away by Maida. Tavernier gets back onto it, flicks it for Cherny. Tavernier continues his run. It is still Cherny though. Skips infield away from Hatate into the right centre position. Squares it for Diamonde. Infield for Cherny. We'll then find Balogun, and back to Jefte in the centre circle. Under pressure from Maida, he finds Suter. Now Balogun. A quieter day for Dyson Maida today so far. Balogun slips it forward, looking for Tavernier. He's got goal side of Taylor. He puts the ball in too close to Sinisalo's near post. The keeper holds on, and on 49 it stays Rangers 1, Celtic 0.
Yeah, you're expecting to deliver a better quality of ball. You've seen it already in this match. You've got the wrong side of Greg Taylor, and then just kind of chunked his cross a wee bit.
Scales at the edge of his box to Hatate. He's come really deep, gets it back to his keeper.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't hit higher up the pitch, Celtic at times. Now they're under pressure. They played it out quite well, but...
Yeah, here's McGregor for Taylor across the halfway line. Maida ahead of him down the touchline. Instead he turns it back infield to McGregor, who squares it for Hatate. Now Scales to McGregor in the centre circle. The Celtic skipper out to Ralston on the right, down the line for Forrest. Chips it back for Ralston and sweeps it into his own half here for Carter Vickers. Just wonder how long into the second half if this doesn't work for Celtic before Maida goes through the middle and Ida comes off. Maida out on the left, scored plenty from this position right enough. He just seems so much more effective through the middle. But Taylor looking for him here. Maida's onto it, pulls it to Ida, evades one challenge of Balogun, rolls it out wide left for Taylor, who's level with the penalty spot, to Forrest. Forrest in a central position. It's a heavy touch, allows Raskinen to win it back. And now Dessers is driving Rangers up the park here. Midway inside the Celtic half now, it's Dessers, still he goes, and he shows too much of it to Carter Vickers, who makes the challenge and wins it back. And frustratingly for Barry Ferguson, he'd Raskin and Czerny in good positions in the box.
Yeah, it was a 3v3, he's got to do better. He carried the ball well initially, but then he's got to make a decision. Carter Vickers dealt with it well though.
McGregor finds Hatate. Midway inside the Rangers half, gets the early ball in, flicked away by Suter. Ida's onto it, pulls it back to Taylor. Taylor at the left angle of the box for Ida, level with the 18-yard line. Along the line it goes for Forrest. He's in the box now. Back out to Ida. I prefer him in the middle, I think. Adam Ida, who tries to spin away from Tavernier, who gets between the man and the ball and wins it back for Rangers. And Ida looked like a fish out of water there. How much longer is he giving Ida here, Packy, do you think?
He's playing out on the left-hand side, Liam. That's not his position. He's a centre forward to come out on the left-hand side to pick up the ball. So he give it to somebody else and get back in. So sorry, I'm not agreeing with that. I'm not
critiquing his performance as a left winger. I'd been speculating as to how long Brendan Rodgers would leave it before changing the system.
But what you did say is that he's out here, fish out of the water. He's out on the left-hand side. He's not playing through where he's supposed to be playing through the centre.
Square goal.
It's an analogy. It's now with Sinisalo at the edge of his box, playing it short to Carter Vickers. Celtic deep inside their own half here. Engels out to Taylor. Maida up the line if he wants him. Instead he turns it back to Scales. Walking pace at the moment. And then finds Taylor on the left-hand side. Maida's made his run ahead of him. Chip ball headed away by Tavernier. Hatate gets onto it, nods it forward to Maida. Maida then infield to Engels. Bit of space for Ralston in the right central position. If he can find him, he couldn't control though. Desser slid in. Now it's Jefte. Ships it to the right of the centre circle for Bayrami and out to Václav Czerny, who's now going to go at Liam Scales here. Shows too much of it to the Irishman though. Slides in, makes the block and clears. Stays Rangers 1, Celtic 0, almost on 53. Now Balogun. Low ball out to Jefte on the left-hand side, into the Celtic half. Ralston is the covering player as Jefte dinks it to the right of the centre circle for Bayrami. Midway inside the Celtic half to Czerny, attacking the box. Czerny's inside the area, it's a low ball across, comes off Tavernier and it's cleared by Carter Vickers. A little bit last ditch there from the Celtic centre-back. Diamonde finds Bayrami, who'll square it to Barron. Throws it back to Suter. Suter to Balogun, who's looked comfortable coming back into the side, having gone off in Bilbao with that facial injury. As Jefte comes forward, he's now beyond the midway point of the Celtic half. He turns it to the left for Raskin, level with the penalty spot. Now to the byline, low ball across, cut out by Carter Vickers. Rangers corner, they lead 1-0.
Really good spell for this. Rangers just now back it.
Yeah, you could see that obviously Celtic attacking him, and then once they won the ball on the edge of their own box, they've got the ability to go and counter-attack, and those spaces that you talked about earlier when teams drop deep that they can't create, that allows them to have that sort of bit of pace and a team that can higher up the pitch, and that's where they're creating their opportunities from.
Czerny will take the corner here, over on the far side. It's going to be an outswinger for Rangers. They attack the goal to the right, looking for a second goal here. Bayrami comes to the left angle of the area, instead Czerny knocks it into the box, headed away by Scales. Bayrami knocks it towards goal, blocked on the 6-yard line by Ralston. Tavernier slides in to win it back off Taylor. The ref didn't like the challenge. Nick Walsh, it's going to be a free kick to Rangers, or sorry, to Celtic after the Rangers players challenge, and they're angry now. Barry Ferguson's not happy. looked as though it was one of those challenges could have gone either way. The referees erred on the side of the defending team.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
That was a good tackle. I thought it was a decent tackle.
I think he gets a wee touch on the ball. I think you might be right, Taki. Yeah, I can understand the frustration.
Hatate back towards his own box, switching it out to the right for Ralston. Forward to Forrest. To one side. Forrest against Raskin, who as well wins it back off the Celtic winger, and now it's infield to Barron. Barron's going long here, switching it out to the right, looking for Czerny. Headed away by Taylor. Picked up by Hatate. Rangers fans howling at Václav Czerny for not making a quicker run towards the ball there. It's now with Scales. And Scales will just move it to his right for Carter Vickers, who then shifts it to Ralston on the right-hand side. Then back to Carter Vickers. We've played 55.5 minutes. Rangers leading 1-0. And out to Taylor, who goes back to Scales inside his own half and shifts it to Hatate, who finds Carter Vickers, who finds Hatate again. Celtic trying to find a way through here.
Yeah, I'm looking at Greg Taylor. He's picking up decent ball in the middle of the pitch, but his first touch is always backwards. He's got to open up and give it to that man Maeda and get him on his front foot. That's better.
Dink ball Taylor to Maeda down the left-hand side. Ida's waiting in the middle, but Maeda's attempted ball was blocked, but it's broken. Ida's way anyway on the turn. It's in! Flag's gone up! Flag's gone up. Ida was wheeling away in celebration over to the far side, but the flag was raised by Dougie Potter, the assistant referee, over on that Govan stand side of the pitch. Ida's wondering what's going on here. Presumably he wasn't the man, he was in an offside position. It took a deflection before ripping past Kelly into the net. It will be, at the moment still, Rangers 1, Celtic 0, but they're going to check and make sure that the on-field decision's the correct one.
Yeah, well, he's given it before the ball comes to Adamida, but that's where Adamida is playing through the middle, strong, but able to hit the target.
We're just double-checking it. Just waiting to see, just to confirm this decision. Nick Walsh looked as though he awarded the free kick to Rangers there, but they've not quite made their mind up yet. But it seems to be that this goal will be disallowed. It was a good spin by Ida, actually, the edge of the box. He got plenty behind it, and that, despite the deflection, that's what whizzed it past Liam Kelly.
I think he's been stung by your commentary, Liam, early on.
What's it having a go? In fact, Brendan Rodgers is looking to his bench to make a change imminently. So, fair play, Paki. I'll agree with Adamida stays on the pitch. Fair enough.
It was a good spin and hit. He got a lot behind it, and the deflection obviously then carries it past Liam Kelly. We're still waiting on this decision.
Wait a minute. Hold on a second here. This goal is going to stand, is my understanding right now. So I think this is going to stand, and it is 1-1. Ida's goal stands, and the Celtic players can celebrate now. Ida's away to the supporters on the far side. After the VAR check, the goal stands, and it's Rangers 1, Celtic 1.
That man Aramida has come good at last.
Yes, Paki. What a player, man. What a player.
As always the case.
I wonder what, I mean, again, it's never great doing a game when you don't have monitors, because
yeah, we're unable to see that replay of that.
I'd love to have seen what was happening.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to make your own mind up on the highlights tonight, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. But the long and the short of it is 1-1. It is all square at Ibrox, and Ida's deflected goal has brought Celtic back on level terms. And it was actually coming after what was a good period for Rangers.
Yeah, it was kind of slightly against the run of play. Celtic were looking as though they were struggling for ideas creatively as well at that point. It comes from actually a really good run from Maeda, in behind the ball, over the top. He takes a bit of a hairy touch. It ricochets to the edge of the box, and then Ida swivels and hits the shot.
Oh, it's great timing for the big striker, because Brendan Rodgers had sat down as substitutes, albeit there might be one of them still about to come on. Yang, I think, is one of them. I think Paolo Bernardo's been told to sit back down in the wake of that equalising goal. But really good attacking play, and that's the first time we've really seen Dyson Maeda able to do that to the Rangers defence this afternoon. And Ida's still got loads to do at the edge of the box before his spin, turn, shot, and into the net it went.
He got good power on the shot, and it did deflect past Liam Kelly, but that takes nothing away from his piece of work, and there's a chance.
Here's Celtic coming driving down the right with James Forrest up against Shooter, level with the penalty spot. On the turn, gets the ball across, Maeda almost onto it, Kelly holds onto it on the 6-yard line. We're banging the hour mark at Ibrox. Rangers 1, Celtic 1. It's anyone's again here.
Yeah, it's a good game. You know, listen, there's a lot happening in the game. There's two teams almost going at each other from the off, which always creates a bit of excitement.
Diamonde on this near side, long ball forward for Czerny, scales a slip. Czerny though couldn't get it into his stride, and Carter Vickers makes the challenge and forces Czerny wide onto the right hand side. There's a foul by the big defender, and Rangers will have a free kick as good as a corner down this right flank, the Celtic left.
Yeah, he did. Listen, he did everything right, covering his centre half as partner when he slipped, and he didn't have to give away the foul. Silly foul to give away. Put pressure on them now.
And it puts Rangers in a really good position. We know Celtic have struggled with the balls into the box, and this is going to come right in. Shirley and Tavernier standing over it. You'd imagine it'd be Tavernier without Swinger that hits it though.
Two of them over it. Czerny's just going to leave the scene though. Tavernier will take this. Bernardo's waiting to come on for Celtic down below us. It might well be Yang comes on too. Anyway, Tavernier with it. It's headed away by Ida on the 6-yard line. Now Czerny, it's a dreadful ball by Czerny. He's giving it straight to Taylor. Taylor comes forward, he's looking for Maeda down this left-hand side. Maeda gets there first, Jeffrey with the challenge, and out it goes for a Celtic throw-in on this near side.
It's good defending from Chefchi, because we know that the pace that Maeda has, and if he didn't make that tackle, Maeda was free and he was in.
Engels off, Bernardo on, like for like, and Forrest off, Yang on, like for like as well. Paki Bora.
Yeah, I think that's. I was wondering whether James Forrest would last the pace. Obviously, he hasn't played a lot of games, but he's taken them off. He just needs a little bit of freshness. Bernardo, we know, will get on the ball in the middle of the pitch. Yang has, there was a period during the season I thought he came really good in the games, but we haven't seen much of him. That's the disappointment.
Yeah, the contention there with the goal was whether Dyson Maeda was in Liam Kelly's eye line and in an offside position. He was, but he wasn't impacting the play. That's why the goal stands. Ida's deflected shot, bringing Celtic back onto level terms, having trailed through that late first half Desser's goal. We're almost in 63, one apiece. Celtic making those changes there. As Carter Vickers finds McGregor. Forward to Hatate, back to McGregor, and out to the far side for Ralston. To Carter Vickers. Adamida evoking memories of that Scottish Cup final winner. He made himself a hero at the club last May. The late Salvo that won the silverware, which they will defend 3 weekends' time against Aberdeen. Here's Bernardo for Celtic, forward to Hatate. To his left, it's Taylor, takes a touch, pulls it across into the box. He breaks the E down the turn again. It's over the bar this time. It will stay Rangers 1, Celtic 1.
Yeah, he could have laid that ball into maybe the path of Yang, but his confidence is high, isn't it? He gets the goal from a kind of a similar situation,
very similar.
Where he's twisted and he's turned and he's said at this time he just couldn't get over the top of the ball.
It was excellent play from Bernardo in the middle of the pitch, skipping away from the midfielder and pass through to Greg Taylor. When Ida takes his touch, he's facing away from goal. He tries to spin in a 360, he just couldn't get any direction with the shot.
18th goal of the season for Ida as well, 2 off the 20 goal mark, which Kuhn and Maeda have already gone through. Indeed, Maeda's gone through the 30. And Taylor knocks it forward towards Ida, and header out by Shooter for a throw into Celtic. Rangers are going to bring Yanis Hadji on, and Hamza Igaman, who got the winning goal the last time the sides met. Across the city, in the east. Throw in Celtic, Taylor over it in the near side. towards Ida. Challenged well by Suter and Barron, who combined to get it away with Barron's ball's going straight to McGregor, scampering up towards the box. Rolls it with the left foot to the right-hand side for Ralston. He's inside the area. Shoots towards goal, blocked by Jeffrey. Comes back to McGregor. Out to the right for Ralston. The right angle of the box. Now Yang taking on Jeffrey. Turns away from him. Twists back towards facing his own goal and works the 1-2 with Bernardo, his fellow sub, but loses it. And then Raskin's fouled, and that will be a free kick to Rangers. Deep inside their own half, and Barry Ferguson will be able to make his double change. Bayrami's coming off to be replaced by Hadji, and Igaman is going to come on for Czerny. Stephen Thompson.
Yeah, I think Bayrami's done a decent job today. Playing slightly out of position, normally staying out to the right, although I think 10 probably is his favoured position. He's done well defensively, but that would have been one of the decisions that Barry had to make before the game. He's chosen Bayrami over Hadji, but Hadji scored that fabulous goal against Aberdeen recently, and obviously Igman coming on now. We know what he did in the last Old Firm game.
I'm a bit surprised maybe Czerny's gone off, because I think that sort of forward areas on the counter-attack, he's probably the one that is really, really dangerous.
Celtic recovering from a losing position. They haven't been behind too often this season. It's just the 8th time when Dessers scored the goal today they've been behind in the Premiership. The 3rd time against Rangers out of those 8 occasions. The others, Ross County, Dundee, Hibs, a couple of times. St Johnstone, they last lost. So Tate goes out to Taylor on the left. Now with Maida, level with the penalty spot. Maida down towards the byline. The challenge comes from Tavernier, a good one, and then Maida brings Tavernier down in the follow-up. That'll be a free kick to Rangers deep inside their own half.
Yeah, he's done well, Tavernier, against. He's just dropped off Maeda a damn couple of yards, and just as Maeda goes to play the ball past him, he's then been able to deal with it. And when he gets to his feet and he turns sort of backwards, Maeda, then he closes him down and he doesn't allow him any space whatsoever. So he's done well.
Yeah, I mean, Maida had Tavernier on toast last season, but he's recovered well this term, hasn't he? Against him, by and large. Certainly in the last 3 or 4 meetings.
I'll tell you when it's dangerous, when the ball's on the opposite side, and when maybe Tavernier just switches off, and that's when he makes those little runs when he hasn't got the ball.
Diamondi goes back to his keeper. We're into the final quarter of the match at 1-1. Short ball, Balogun does brilliantly to turn away from Yang. On the left, Balogun striding forward up towards halfway. And it goes to Jeffrey. Back to Barron, infield for Raskin. McGregor all over him, but Raskin manages to get the ball forward to Hadji, right of the centre circle. Hadji now stretching his legs up towards the edge of the Celtic box. Turns it back to Tavernier, who isn't in the position he thought he was. Has to retreat to get onto it. Ball comes back to Diamondi, and now it's Raskin who finds Diamondi. It's fouled by Hatate, and that will be a free kick to Rangers on this near side. 1-1, 68 played. Here on Sports Sound this Sunday afternoon across the frequencies, on digital, online at bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. To come in the week, the playoffs getting underway, headed up by the Premiership playoff quarter-final between Partick Thistle and Ayr United. The first leg of which is on Tuesday, the second leg on Friday. The first leg across the city here at Firhill in Glasgow, and then down at Somerset on Friday. Games on Saturday. I mean, there's no doubt, I don't think, about match of the day. St Johnstone against Ross County. Basement battle. St Johnstone have to win that one, when it could be curtains on their 16-year stay in the top flight. Celtic host Hibs that day. Sunday, Aberdeen are here at Ibrox. So, plenty to come in the week ahead. A reminder, you get highlights of this one this evening on Sports Scene at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel, and repeated on BBC One a little later in the evening.
Yeah, Diamondi just looks as if he's got cramp in both legs. He was stretching a little bit earlier on. He went down. He struggled to get back up. So that might be something that Barry Ferguson will have to maybe go and change.
There's Tavernier on the right of the Celtic box, finds Igaman, good shuffle with the foot, and then he drives for a goal. It's a good couple of feet wide of the left-hand post, but he caught it pretty well. And he's got that, and Celtic don't need any reminders of what he's got from the edge of the box after that winner found the top right corner at Celtic Park last couple of months ago.
Yeah, he's got great feet, doesn't he? Really quick, skillful feet, and he did well there, a wee shift, and then he catches the shot. You're right, he catches the shot really well, but it was straight, and it was always probably a metre past the right-hand post of Sinisalo, but a positive first couple of touches for him.
You couldn't right now, with 20 minutes to play, call who's going to win this, if one of these teams is going to win this. Ida with a flick header, Maida chasing, Balogun sliding and knocking it out for a throw into Celtic over on the right-hand side.
Yeah, it's amazing that as a goal kick, they play it along and they end up getting a kind of, you could call it a quarter chance, just flick on from Adamida and Maida running through the middle. It doesn't always have to be built from the back.
Thrown into the Rangers box, Ida holding off Balogun, back towards Yang, good challenging there by Diamonde, who clears for Rangers out to the far side. Dessers goes back to Diamonde, looks to push it into the path of Raskin, which he has done. Goal side of Ralston, driving forward, he's got Hadji to his right, Igaman to the left, goes to Igaman, he's on the right, on the left, sits the defender down, he's overcooked it though, down to the byline, then he slips, still has it, Igaman, looking for a goal, blocked by Scales, and I'm not sure how long he wanted to wait before releasing the pass there, or shooting. But either way, it's come to absolutely nothing for Rangers. It stays at 1-1 on 71. Stephen.
It's a big chance, you know, again on the counter-attack. Really nice play from Rangers. And he just wants so much time on the ball. He's got to get his shot away. He tries to chop, he chops back in, he slips, he falls down, he gets back up, eventually shoots when the shot's not on. Yeah, that was poor from Igaman.
Yeah, it was the Igaman show there, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's got to get his shot away earlier, 100%.
There were two players waiting in the box. They'd waiting numbers there momentarily, did Rangers, but it's Celtic on the ball on the right with Yang, who goes down, fouled by Raskin. Celtic free kick on the touchline. Over on that far side, the Celtic right, and they're attacking the goal at the left. Dessers 25th of the season, Ida's 18th of the season. The story of the game. As Hatate, first time ball out to Taylor on the slide, manages to get it forward to Maida. Maida's low ball looking for Bernardo, cut out by Diamonde, almost broke back to Taylor. Tavernier slides in to put it out for a throw-in, down by the corner flag off to our left for Celtic.
Yeah, second half Celtic have been better building the game through the thirds of the pitch, and they've got into better positions down this left-hand side in front of where we are sitting at the moment.
Yeah, they've looked more like themselves second half. Diamonde wins it back off Taylor and goes down, chopped down by the Scotland left back, and that will be a free kick to Rangers deep inside their own half. There's a crowd of 49,883 inside Ibrox this afternoon for the final derby between these two this season. Will be a Liam Kelly free kick for Rangers out on this near side. Looks to launch this one forward with the right foot into the Celtic half. It hangs in the blustery wind and it's flicked on by Dessers. Igaman finds Tavernier, gets it forward towards Dessers. It's beyond him, beyond Carter Vickers, and right through to Sinisalo, and the Rangers supporters wanting a free kick for Dessers for a foul by Carter Vickers on the edge of the box. Nick Walsh isn't interested. Those appeals, and it's Carter Vickers sidestepping away from Dessers and finding Hatate, who rolls it wide right for Bernardo, forward towards Ida. Balogun covering across well. He's had a good game, Leon Balogun, so far.
He has, Liam, yeah, you're right. Again, that was really good play. Had to get there.
He's been fouled as well, so he wins the free kick off Ida. He's got his head in his hands. Free kick Rangers over on the far side. How do you think they've looked in a back four today? Because Barry Ferguson's generally preferred the 3 and the 5 basically since Istanbul, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think it suits them better, to be honest with you.
Hadji isn't nicked off him by Taylor and Maida. Now it's Hatate and McGregor. The challenge comes from Diamonde. Hadji goes down. Rangers get the free kick. Foul by McGregor. He was wagging his finger at the referee, and he's been at the heart of the battle, as he has been so often in this fixture, as Callum McGregor, who's playing in it for the 43rd time Did miss the last one, as I said. James Tavernier's playing in his 42nd. He's lost 24 of those ones. The Rangers captain, James Forrest, but for injury, would have played more than the 32 that he's played in. Big switch from the free kicks, poor from Souttar. Sails over the head of Jeffrey and out for a Celtic throw-in over on the far side. 1-1 it is here, with just over 15 left.
It's the first spell in the game where it's gotten just a wee bit scrappy and untidy and lacking a bit of quality, really. These last 5 minutes haven't been great.
Celtic throw, Ralston over it. Now over the edge of the D of his own box, over on the right, chested infield by Ida for Bernardo. Slices it, switches it to Taylor, left of the centre circle. His ball for Maida, was well read by Tavernier, though wins it back. Now Raskin coming up towards the halfway line, forward to Igaman, and then to Tavernier on the right hand side. Go inside the Celtic half for Barron, back to Barron, and then infield to Diamonde, back to Barron, forward towards Hadji, turns it out to Tavernier, and then Yanis Hadji again. He rolls it back for Connor Barron. Barron back to Souttar, and then to Barron again. Forward for Hadji. Out to Tavernier on the touchline. Chip ball into the Celtic box, cleared by Scales. Hatate picks it up. McGregor, misunderstanding with Maida. Rangers throw-in. Barry Ferguson wanting more on the touchline from his players. Wants them to up the ante here, with 14 to play, and the score's standing at 1-1. Tavernier over this throw-in. His last one barely made the penalty area. Hoping for better here. Trying the ball down with his jersey. Here he goes. Tavernier throws it into the box. Scales with a header. It's back towards his own 6-yard line. Raskin's off target. Sinisalo flops down onto it. It's to the left of his goal frame and holds on. And it stays Rangers 1, Celtic 1.
Yeah, the long throw comes in. Scales gets the head on it, but can only head it back the way towards his own goal.
Mistake from Taylor, gives it straight to Diamonde, finds Desers, back to Diamonde. Out wide right, Hadji, level with the Celtic penalty spot, chops onto his left foot, chips it across the penalty area, can't find anyone in blue, and Igaman's not able to keep it in play. Yang sees it out for the throw into Celtic on the far side.
It's got to be better from Hadji. Really poor. Rangers have numbers in the box. He could even chop onto his left and get a shot away. His choice decision making there was so poor.
Jeffrey Schlupp is going to be on for Celtic shortly as Ralston picks up over on the right hand side.
Forward.
He's giving it away to Raskin, pinches it back for Rangers, driving into the penalty area. It's Raskin, he shoots, it's well wide. Goal kick.
I don't understand that, checking back all the time when you're in a great position. Play the ball either to the wide man or play it down the channel, or if you have no pass into midfield.
Yeah, a bit of a waste that as well from a Rangers point of view. Raskin found himself in that area in the penalty box, Stephen, and he couldn't take advantage as Schlupp prepares to come on, presumably for Greg Taylor.
Yeah, I mean,
could be Anthony Ralston too, and maybe he might play over on that right hand side. I know he's probably more left-sided, but
it is Ida over on the right, sliding in Balogun. Out it goes for a Rangers throw-in off the Celtic man last. Now they're going to make the change. Schlupp for Taylor.
Yes, for Taylor, yeah.
12 minutes of the 90 to play here. Greg Taylor's done well, Packy, to displace Jeffrey Schlupp. Again, it's another example of a Celtic player similar to Liam Scales losing his place in the team. He's stuck in though. He's won it back at just the right time with a cup final on the horizon.
Yeah, of course, and you know what you get from him. He played that inverted full-back position very, very well, and he'll work away really well. Just my only small critique today would be that he could have opened up a wee bit more when he picks the ball up and feed Maeda a little bit quicker, and just get the game flowing a little bit better.
Will it peter out as a one-each draw? One of these teams have the wherewithal to go on and collect all 3 points. Points that don't really mean anything in the grand scheme of things, but the outcome of this derby, whilst it'll mean very little to, if anything, to supporters of other clubs in this city, for the fans of these two, it means everything. Jeffrey down the left-hand touchline for Raskin, level the edge of the D of the Celtic box. to central position now. Raskin rolls it to Tavernier, right-hand side of the D, crosses in, too high for Dessers, headed away by Ralston. Barron wins it back off Yang. Jeffrey's little chip ball in, picked up by Raskin, who shoots, Sinisalo blocks, Hadji goes for it, goes down.
That's a penalty kick.
Well, Stephen reckons Hadji was fouled, but was it the other way around, I wonder? Was it Hadji on McGregor, or was it McGregor on Hadji? There will clearly be a check for a penalty here, though.
No, on first viewing, for me, it's a penalty kick. The ball breaks in the box. Hadji's going to get onto it, and he's spun to the deck. So, I'm interested to see. Nick Walsh saw it clearly.
No, they're happy. They're happy with it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go. That was quick.
Yeah, it was 2 or 3 players around the ball. It was Canal was one of them. You almost block it, but yeah, I would like to see it again just to be sure.
I mean,
but they were very quick on the VAR check there, Stephen.
McGregor got a touch on the ball, is what.
Did he? Right,
yeah.
Couldn't see it from up here. Yeah. But the initial ball in caused all sorts of problems at the back post. Raskin takes a touch. He's 3 yards out from the goal, and then he slips. If he kept his footing, he'd have been smashing that into the net. What's going on?
Well, the Rangers cavalry are surrounding the 4th official, Kevin Clancy. Neil McCann and Billy Dodds are in his ear, as was Barry Ferguson.
About this penalty, not given.
Yeah. It seems fairly cut and dry that McGregor got a touch on it, so he's got there before he's wiped Hadji out. And Jack Butland's also there having a word with the 4th official. It's Neil McCann's turn now.
We all know what Neil and Billy thinks about VAR. they've commented on it a lot when they're sitting up here.
2 very passionate gentlemen there, it's fair to say.
I mean, it was a very quick decision, wasn't it,
yes,
from the VAR officials?
Which is what you want, absolutely.
You do, so they must have been absolutely certain, though, because there was no kind of hesitation.
Anyway, now that that's all done and dealt with, it will be a Rangers throw-in wide in the left with the 81.5 on the clock, and the scoreline still 1 apiece. Dessers and Ida trading goals either side of the break. Long ball forward there by Kelly, headed away by Scales, drops into the midfield. Bernardo chases, Balogun wins it back and finds Diamonde left of the centre circle, squares it out to the right for Tavernier, and then out to Igaman on the touchline. Moves infield away from Schlupp and finds Raskin. Out to Diamonde. Rangers down to 10 at the moment. Hadji, after the challenge with McGregor, is injured. Here come Rangers. Igaman into the box. Dessers fresh air, breaks back to Tavernier, and Celtic clear. It was a little bit lazy looking from Dessers there as Barron bends a wasteful ball into the box and wide for the goal kick. Just wonder if Dessers realised just how good an opportunity he had there.
That was really clever from Dessers. And was it Diamonde? Was it? I'm not sure who was. Oh no, it was Igaman, wasn't it? That laid it into him. But he was pointing to his right-hand side as soon as Igaman picked the ball up. But obviously they must work in that in training. And it's almost just he laid it into that sort of little bit of space where he could check off and try to get a shot away. Really, really good combination play from both.
Hadji's unable to continue, so the sub's been subbed and replaced by Bailey Rice. Well, Adam Ida will be replaced here by Johnny Kenny, Packy.
Yes,
and rare chance for Johnny Kenny to get some minutes.
Yeah, and I'm delighted because obviously this is a big moment for the young man. He goes on the pitch. We haven't seen anything of him apart from, I think, from the game away to Ross County. I think he came on and made a little bit of an impact, but he's done really well at Shamrock Rovers during his time, especially in European competition at Conference League. So big moment for the young man.
Yeah, he's made a few cameos this season. I think his first one, the one Packy's talking about, was in Dingwall. Freezing cold day back in early January as Hatate wins a free kick down the near side, and as you can gather from the reaction of the natives in the background, it hasn't gone down very well, and a yellow card has been flashed at one of the coaching team here.
I think it was for Barry Ferguson. Yeah, they weren't happy, they didn't think it was a foul. Is that the first yellow card he's shown today, Nick Walsh?
Yeah, I think it is actually. Just double check. I've not got another one noted down, I don't think. And so none of the on-field players have picked up any cards, which is pretty surprising in this fixture.
Yeah,
that is the first yellow card of the afternoon. It goes to the Rangers interim manager. I think he was booked on his...
Which one?
Final Rangers Celtic.
Oh, was it
game.
Barry, was it? I thought it was...
Yeah, I think it was, yeah, but we'll get confirmation of that. As Kenny's chopped down on the far side there by Balogun. Hasn't put much of a foot wrong this afternoon. He has on this occasion, the Rangers defender, and Celtic have a free kick here about level with the Rangers penalty spot, the right-hand side of the Rangers box.
It was a tired-looking challenge that from Leon Balogun, just late into Johnny Kenny. Clear foul, and you're right, Liam, this is a great opportunity to deliver here. It's going to be Bernardo that puts it in.
Balogun might be feeling hard done by. He didn't get the in-house player of the match, which has gone to Raskin. Bernardo over this free kick. The Celtic fans, the best view inside Ibrox of this, right in front of them. Bernardo bends it into the box. Cardiff Vickers can get there. Rangers head it half away. Hatate blasts for goal, and it's blocked and clear by Diamonde. Now with Raskin. Raskin's managed to prod it through, looking for Dessers, but McGregor reacts well and gets it back to his keeper. Sinisalo short dish loop and then back to the Finn. Takes a touch on his 18-yard line and launches it forward with the right foot out to that far side. Header won by Jefty. Bernardo goes down. Celtic free kick, fouled by Raskin. Right on the halfway line, right of the centre circle. Less than 5 of the 90 to play. It's 1-1.
Well, we know what happened in the final 5 minutes of the first half. Big chances, goals. Can all happen here yet.
Yeah, of course, Ida missed that one-on-one just before Dessers went up the pitch to make it 1-0. Ida redeeming himself with the equaliser, albeit with the aid of a big deflection. Ralston with the free kick, knocks it forward towards Kenny. Kenny's done really well to work it out to Yang on the right, down by the byline. Yang's got the beat in the defender, he's inside the box, right-hand side of it, and overcooked it a little bit. He's managed to get it back to McGregor. Then Yang, infield to Hatate, to Bernardo, out to McGregor. Now Hatate attacking the Rangers box, little ball in field, looking to find Yang. Couldn't return the favour. Rangers clear through Bailey Rice. And then Diamonde helps him out and goes down, fouled by Hatate. Free kick Rangers at the edge of their box. Rangers 1, Celtic 1. The closing stages at Ibrox.
Not really had any good opportunities for about a good 15-20 minutes, has there? It's been fairly quiet.
A scrappy last 15-20 minutes, to be honest, you know. I think Celtic have worked the ball really well at times from back to front midfield, but they haven't really been able to create anything higher up the pitch.
Long ball from Kelly from that free kick, the edge of his box. Sloop wins the header, nods it forward. Johnny Kenny on the halfway line, gets it back to Bernardo, who's caught by Rice. Free kick Celtic. Celtic looking the more likely right now, and there is an on-field yellow card. Bailey Rice gets it.
Yeah, just a little bit
foul on Bernardo.
A little bit late in his tackle. Young man coming on.
Yeah, Celtic looking the more likely right now, would you say, Packy? If someone's going to win this?
I'm not sure. I think it might peter out into a kind of almost a draw here, and I think both teams probably at this stage, after a good, decent performance, I think in this game from both, I think they'll be quite happy to walk away with it.
Outcome, wouldn't it? A draw, yeah.
Yeah, there's not been much in it, has there?
But once again, it's been a really decent Rangers performance against Celtic, where they've been unable to reproduce that in the other games against the other teams. And that is something they will have to remedy if they're going to be a serious contender for the title next season. Celtic will go again, they'll strengthen. Rangers have this new future to look forward to. New ownership on the horizon. As Jefty wins the throw-in on the far side, round about the halfway line, maybe just inside his own half. 1-1, 88 and a half on the clock. Jefty taking the throw from actually inside the Celtic half. It was a good bit further back than that. Taking his time over it, bowls it forward, looking for Dessers, who's shielding it from Ralston, looking for Barron, can't find him. It's gone straight to Hatate. Smashes it long, forward towards Kenny. Kenny chasing, Suter's gone down. Is he getting the free kick? Yes, he is. It's a good job for him that he did do, because Kenny was away. Otherwise,
you see it so many times, don't you, when the defender's under pressure And the strikers behind them, they just go to ground, and every single time the referee buys it.
Keep saying it's known, I think, it's the Graham Shinnie.
Aye, he's good at it, to be fair. Martin Boyle did it yesterday, actually, for Hibs.
But Kenny's got a little bit of pace, hasn't he?
Yeah, he saw that.
Yeah,
there.
He's got that wee turn of pace when he gets going.
Free kick Rangers, Liam Kelly over it. Well into the 90th minute. Kevin Clancy's got the board to tell us what the stoppage time's going to be. Scales heads away from the long ball from Kelly. Suter heads it back into the Celtic half. Bernardo, forward it comes, blocked by Rice. And I think the ref's concerned that Bailey Rice took a head knock from the ball there and he stopped play. A fairly heavy blow there as the ball came thundering towards them. It's going to be 7 minutes of stoppage time, so there is still the opportunity here for someone to win this. There, to be fair, I mean, a couple of injury stoppages, perhaps most notably for Hadji. There's been the VAR checks as well, and the VAR check in particular for that Celtic equaliser.
It's hard to see where a goal's going to come from, though, isn't it?
Yeah, both teams just giving it away constantly at the moment. This time it's Sinisalo putting it straight out for a Rangers throw. On this near side, it's worked to Diamonde. Now it's with Rice. Out to the left for Jefty. Jefty level with the Celtic 18-yard line. Challenged by Yang. Jefty on the turn. Now with Barron. It's cross cut out by Bernardo. Plays it to Kenny. Back to Bernardo. Can't control. And Rice rolls it back into his own half for Balogun. He goes back to his goalkeeper, the edge of his box. Just at the end of the first of the 7 minutes that were added. 1-1, long ball. Schluck heads away, but Igaman flagged off. Celtic free kick. It has been, since the subs, really the latter subs, it's been a pretty scrappy affair. Schluck goes back to his keeper. Over to McGregor, and Diamonde has gone down off the ball.
He's did well to last.
Yeah,
I think
that cramp earlier, didn't he? And Hatate's helping him out. How very sporting.
Yeah, he's been struggling for a good 15-20 minutes now, has Diamande, with the cramp. Once you get it, it's hard to shrug off.
Well, we're just suggesting Diamande's going to have to come off here. The Rangers number 10, brought in from Nordsjælland in Denmark a year past January. How important a player's he been, do you think, Stephen? And how important a player could he be going forward for Rangers? There's clearly going to be huge changes in the summer, and you do wonder how many of those who are out there on the pitch will survive any kind of cull.
There'll be a massive turnover in the summer, you would expect. But yeah, it's kind of been hit and miss this season. Danilo's coming on for him. But yeah, I mean, there's no doubt he's a good player. He's certainly showed up in the bigger games that Rangers have played this season.
Some of the European ones, the game at Celtic Park, as Scales launches it forward, as Stephen was saying, Danilo's on for Diamonde. As Danilo scored against Celtic in the League Cup final in December. As Bernardo finds Hatate, two moving ahead of him, the ball forwards cut out by Balogun again. Now Danilo, forward to Igaman. And Celtic stretched a little bit at the back here. Igaman taking his time over it though. Flicks it with the outside of the right boot to the left for Dessers, gets the cross in, headed away by McGregor. Diving header clear. Dessers back to Rice, out to the left. Here come Rangers again. Jeffy's cross, blocked by Ralston this time. The story of the game in many ways for both sides. The quality from the wide areas hasn't been as you would expect it to be. Yang comes forward, but runs into trouble in the shape of Leon Balogun. 3 of the 7 minutes that were added have been played. 1-1. Here's Jefty down the left-hand side, and it's blocked by Ralston, and out for a throw into Rangers. I think Ralston's the latest to be suffering with a bit of cramp, and given he doesn't start games very often, you can understand why, given we're in the 94th minute. How do you think Ralston's done today, Packy, in place of Johnston?
Yeah, he's done okay. Hasn't got that forward thrust that we recognise with Alistair Johnston. He's always getting into great positions. Defensively, has done okay. But listen, he's a player who's going to be a squad player, for Celtic from that perspective. And he's been around the club for a long time, so he kind of knows how to play on these occasions. But yeah, for a man who hasn't played a lot, has done okay.
22nd appearance all told this season, just a 6th start in the league for Ralston. And Brendan Rodgers gave him his Champions League debut in his first spell at the club, and just a teenager at the time when he went head-to-head with Neymar against Paris Saint-Germain. Particularly famous joust between the two of them. Rangers have it with Danilo. McGregor with a little shirt pull there, and the ref did spot it. It's going to be a free kick to Rangers here as we approach the end of the 5th minute of stoppage time. Yeah. 7 were added. It's 1-1.
Gives it an opportunity for Rangers to get Suter, get Balogun up high up the pitch. They've got Dessers up there. Iggeman's away out here on the right hand side.
Taverniers over the free kick, just to the left of the centre circle, but level with the edge of it. Chip ball to the right hand side of the Celtic box. Balogun does win the header. Schlupp gets there. Sinisalo is coming to claim, but the flag's gone up anyway, and Celtic will have a free kick. And it looks as though Rangers are about to go 7 games without a win at Ibrox Stadium, which is astonishing, and it would be the first time that has ever happened.
That is incredible, Liam. It really is.
Sinisalo over the free kick here as the seconds tick away. Is there one last opportunity in the match for one of these teams? Sinisalo with the right